Parasite.
Kids have not shot each other in a year. Like, they're ready to go. Kids are ready to shoot each other. Their teachers, administrators, they're ready to go on like day one. That kid came in and just started firing wildly on day one. I mean, I think the teachers should start shooting the kids when they go back.
Love the way you're reading this.
Bill
I
Gates
love your mind.
divorcing his wife.
Can I rape your mind?
I think you're already in it.
Yeah, we
That's what I
do.
was looking at.
Live on YouTube. I can see it.
I've got the circle of death. Wait, what is it called? It's the circle of death. Oh, I think it's my Wi-Fi picking something up. I think maybe.
Your Wi-Fi?
My wifey.
That's what I thought. Okay, I'll log on to your wife later tonight.
What?
Yeah, oops, Wi-Fi. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing this evening?
Honestly?
Yeah, honestly.
Or are we going to fake it for the show?
We do not fake it. Can't fake it. You'll know when we're faking it.
It's just fantastic, man. The world is fine.
Isn't it? The world's so beautiful.
It's awesome.
It is amazing. It's a beautiful world out here. What you drinking there, pal? That looks delightful.
Soleil.
Soleil, is that some...
Soleil.
Wait,
It's like...
I have no idea. Wait, hold on, let me guess. Is that like some non-alcoholic White Claw? No, is that like some generic LaCroix?
Yeah, it's like generic. It's like
Awesome.
Safeway Select brand.
Nice. All right, not the Kroger.
So send me some cash, Safeway. You owe me.
You do. You Safeway, make it happen.
Hook us up.
Circle K, make
Onto
it
the
happen.
show.
Is Circle K still a...
Oh, yeah. Dude, they're everywhere here.
Yeah. It's like 7-Eleven.
Circle Crack.
It's never going to die.
Truck stop restrooms. You got to have those gas stations along the way. That's our journey.
It is our journey. So we're back for episode 31. Like we said we promised, and we're here. For once, living up to it. So continuation from Monday. This is gonna be a blast once again. And I can't call this part 2 either because we don't know how many parts this is actually going to end up being. So it's an ongoing discussion, indeed.
It's an anatomy lesson, certainly. Many different parts. We'll talk about all the parts tonight. You have children in the room. Make sure they understand. There's going to be some sensitive topics discussed tonight.
This is true. This is true.
We're using our sensitive voices. We are quiet in the ladies' restroom. They don't want us here, but we're listening anyway.
That's not creepy at all.
Right.
Guys, we're going to go down the synchromistic route.
Going down the synchronistic holes. We're rating the feminine stalls for this one. We hit the masculine stalls the first one because
we need the intuition, the feminine intuition. There was a new moon last night.
It's true.
Our cycle, we're beginning it together.
A new month together.
Our cycles syncing. We're all gonna have the
females.
same cycle?
Yeah, females joining us.
Yeah.
Let us know if y'all are syncing up. If you've been hanging out with each other. I'm not even. Yeah. It's not even. It's crazy though because Lindsay mentioned it, and I'm not going to digress too much. But that was crazy, and I totally. Oh man.
Well, when we sync up, we get our exclamation points instead of our periods. That's the way that it works.
Do you love me? Question mark. Please! Exclamation point. I want to hold you in parentheses. Does anybody else remember that? I mean, come on. You guys remember that song?
I have Aphenphosmphobia, which is an extreme irrational fear of intimacy. So if you try to get close to me or try to shake my hand, I get a little bit icky. I don't like cooties,
Cooties? It's a serious condition. Especially right now, people are, taking it really, really serious. So we don't want to get kicked off of YouTube for talking about, cooties and stuff. So, but that's cool. Whatever. Maybe another time.
Cooties and beer bugs. There's
cooties,
a lot of phlegm and junk and gunk and
Tecate. Like
computer viruses and viruses of the mind.
Yeah, malware. Malware of the mind.
Well, when you go to a public restroom, if they allow it, like in an airport, they have those paper seat covers. You guys ever play with those?
Those are fun.
Play with them?
It's like, well, I mean,
cowboy hats.
you take it out,
make a swan.
and then it's like, I got to make a note right now. I have to make a private note. You're trying to write on it, and it's like, you get the thick napkin from the really fancy restaurant, the paper napkin. It's really thick and it can handle pen ink.
Proper
but if you
dinner
try to write
napkin.
with a sharp pencil on one of those tissues that
Single
go over the
ply.
toilet seats,
Like not even, right? It's not even single ply. It's like what? Yeah, it's like
you can see through it a little bit.
And super crinkly.
Yeah, but that protects us. We put that on the seat. We feel
That's right.
safe. But you slide around on it. It's like there's no grip on it. So you're like, I might as well just not make contact and just gently use my exercise abilities to squat without touching or dipping too low.
You're talking about Americans here. They're not gonna. They can't hold themselves up off the toilet seat. We're too fat.
Then there's that. But I mean, it's not. Is it a collective we at this juncture? I don't know. I really don't.
It's the royal we.
It is the royal we with cheese.
It's the throne. We get to sit on our own throne.
It is a throne.
Mm.
But nice. Yeah, let's get down to brass tacks. Yep, I just stole that from you, Deacon.
We're talking about plumbing, aren't we? Right? We're talking about clogged toilets and plumbers and Italian plumbers.
Specifically Italian plumbers, I believe. I think that's where we left off.
Yeah, that's what blew up. That's what did the damage, and that's what left the lasting imprint on people. Is that topic, which we didn't think anybody would even follow along with. That was surprising for me.
Same here with the anagram stuff too, and that was with the Pearl River, but we'll
get to that.
Yeah, we're
getting there. We're going there.
Yeah, we'll definitely get there. We'll definitely make the rounds because I'm really happy for those that caught Monday's episode. Alan did end up catching. You caught the whole thing, right, buddy? For the most part.
I was there for it. Man.
No, I'm talking about SNL because remember you'd only caught skits prior and then or sketch. I'm sorry, sketches.
They were sketchy. They were definitely sketchy. There was a lot of inappropriate potty humor, and if you think what we're saying in the last 5 minutes,
potty humor is inappropriate. What?
Right?
For who?
I don't know.
I gotta let my goats out.
I don't know.
Time to let the goats out.
Wow, this is off the rails already.
Okay, wait. Before
we're totally on the rails.
Before we go anymore, I just want to plug really quick Lindsay's show from last night, Rogueways on Rockfin, the middle path she did last night. If you guys have not seen that, go watch it. Go to Rockfin, subscribe to Rogueways, and watch that last show.
Yes,
Nuremberg Trials.
I'm going to
Nuremberg 2.0.
I'll post a link right now in the chat for it while you gentlemen carry.
Yep.
So
this is really important.
Yeah, I'm posting this link right now.
Well, again, and the connection I was making was I remember reading the Diary of Anne Frank, and I was like, well, what was she writing on? Right? Because she has all these thoughts. She has so many thoughts, and she's keeping a diary, and she's in this attic, and she has to stay still. And we're in 7th grade, and we just had our sex education class, and now it's next period. We go to the next room in the school, and then we have English class, and then we read the Diary of Anne Frank, who is a Holocaust she survived that by hiding out, and we know this because she recorded her feminine thoughts from her feminine perspective on some paper somehow and preserved those notes to be published.
It is quite the story. I've never read, and I really haven't, not to whatever, I haven't looked into it too much. So it is, I don't know. Go ahead, Alan.
Did you not read it in public school?
No, I didn't.
Did anybody have to read the Diary of Anne Frank?
What
Gordon
grade?
did.
What grade are we talking here? I mean, this high school mandatory?
7th grade.
7th? No.
7th grade.
I heard some things that maybe it was written with a pen that wasn't even invented when she was alive.
That could very well. Wouldn't surprise me one bit.
I mean, who knows?
We may have to hit Stephen
I bring
Sorensen
it up
for this
because we're back to Nuremberg trials. We're back to the Third Reich into the Fourth Reich, and what Lindsay was talking about was this magneto thing, like magnets. You guys, did you hear that? This magneto, like, who's the professor in the X-Men?
Professor X. Xavier.
Professor X, yeah.
Professor X.
Who's
But
the
Magneto.
Holocaust survivor? So one of those
That's
X-Men
Magneto.
is a Holocaust. Yeah, Magneto.
Yeah.
He
Eric
is
Lynch.
canon. In canon lore, he is a Holocaust survivor, just like Anne Frank.
Here's another thing about Magneto also, is that in the, I think it's the, I can't remember, it's the new X-Men. Magneto becomes this character called Zorn, where his head is the sun. And
What?
you know all the, do you remember all of the CERN connections with the Magnetos and trying to create the sun?
No.
His character Zorn does that in the new X-Men.
Is there
I
a
can't
new
remember what
X-Men
year
movie?
that came out. No. In the books, he becomes this guy who has this big metal skull helmet, but inside the skull is a small sun, and that's where he gets his power from. In the,
Brilliant illumination.
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The bringer of light.
Yeah. I'm with you there. Yeah. Wow.
I don't know the connection with the name Zorn. I'm not. It's XORN. I haven't dug down that hole, but that's probably something too.
The X in a circle, is that the mark of the beast? Freeman Fly on his show has done some lectures talking about the mark of the beast, and then there's the guy he interviews who has the mark of the beast. He changed the back of his skin. Do you remember his name?
No, interesting.
On Freeman?
He was he was interviewed on Freeman's show.
His name, yeah.
I'll have to look into that. I'm going from memory here. It's like, if I had some implants in my mind, I could probably remember things so much better. If I had a neural link or something going on, I could just pull it up immediately, right? We have to overcome these limitations we have.
In theory, mine's not working very well.
I'm going analog. I'm just going to take notes. So whatever you guys say, I'll just write it down. Analog style, pencil and paper. I think that's how Anne Frank did it.
She didn't have her implant yet, and so she had to write stuff down.
I don't think
she
had a typewriter because all that.
What?
They would have heard her.
Oh, right. They would have heard her.
Furiously typing. Would have garnered some attention. People would have been like, I think there's a squirrel up in the attic and we need to go up there and check it out. And then discover there's a whole family of squirrels hiding in the attic behind the cupboard, or the what's that C.S. Lewis book where there's a
Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
The wardrobe. So behind the wardrobe, you slide the wardrobe to the side, you climb up into the attic, and you find there's a whole family living there, sharing beds and dealing with their hygiene and maybe taking sponge bath. Those are the types of details we're reading about in the diary of Anne Frank, but I don't want to stick with that for too much longer. Has anyone in chat read the Diary of Anne Frank?
Oh, yes, you've all read. Okay.
Because the open question at this point is, are we living in the Fourth Reich? If you have Werner von Braun, a German scientist, and you have all of the German forces, what do we call them? The National Socialists. And they're all gathered together.
Jim Mars would have said, yeah, for sure.
Right. So the question is, are we just the fourth industrial revolution? Is this the Great Reset? Is this, if they used to settle it with warfare on a battlefield, how do we do that today?
Online.
We stream our game on Twitch. Well, we play Call of Duty, or what's the new game? Fallout.
That's what warfare is anymore. It's Ender's Game. It's the same thing as Ender's Game. You've got a console. You're not even there. I mean, we were doing that. We were doing that 15 years ago.
Orson Scott Card.
Yep.
Wrote the book Ender's Game. I wish I would have read that when I was Ender's age.
Yeah.
What, 13, right? 12 years old, 13 years old.
Would have been perfect.
Did anyone see the movie with Harrison Ford?
Yep, sucked.
I haven't seen it. Jim, did you see Ender's Game?
I saw it.
What's better, the book or the movie?
I didn't read the book, so I don't have anything to compare it to. But I mean, it seemed like they really needed a sequel.
The books the books go on for like 3 or 4. I can't remember what I read at least 2 of them. Maybe it was 3 of them, but it became a Messiah story where, because he is stuck in the ship, going faster than light or whatever, and not faster than light, but
the speed of light in a vacuum is measured in the letter C, which is the nickname for Claire, who goes professionally by the name Grimes, who is Princess Peach and the baby daddy of Elon Musk. And that's kind of what we're getting to.
Alan always bringing it around. Right on.
We were talking a lot today with Chance and his crew in Interverse. They were saying a lot of great stuff, and they were talking about the SNL sketch too, and they had some ideas. A lot of feedback there. Did we have any open questions about that we wanted to address before we digress further? Did you guys see anything?
Anything new?
Well, any questions or comments? I think there's a lot of seeds there, and it takes time for them to germinate and grow, and for people to fully express their thoughts about it.
I went more on the. You're muted. Barsky's muted.
There we go. Sorry, guys.
There you go.
Perfect.
I went down more the giant route with the giant puppets, because that legend was, I had it half right. So remember we were talking about the giants crossing the water. It was a story. The character's name was Finn McCool, and he's the Irish giant. And he got into a pissing match with this other giant in Scotland.
Potty talk.
So the Giants, the way the Giants Causeway the legend says that they were having to get back and forth to each other, and so they were throwing stones to create the causeway, which is essentially just a bridge,
Right.
across the water. But it says they walked across the water. So it's kind of the same thing as that other story where you were talking about them walking across the river or whatever it was.
Well, that's the question. So we have, again, the conclusion we reached in the last show was there's this marionette who's 2 to 3 times taller than humans, and they have these Lilliputians. These humans are manipulating the limbs of this puppet to make it walk. Are they going to make this thing walk on land for the entire trip, or is it just going to be like walking through town? I don't know what they're planning on doing with this.
And
hey, here's another thing: walking giants. One of my favorite comic book stories was, so I can't remember if it's Strange Tales or one of those weird early pulp sci-fi 60s comics that Jack Kirby did. Was this storyline where the Easter Island giants, the Easter Island Moai, walked there. That's what the legend, the Maui legend says, that the giants walked there.
Over a land bridge.
Heads. Well, it doesn't say that, but they walked to the island, and that's where they stood, like in where the giants are. But in Jack Kirby's version, he used that their bodies were buried underneath the ground and just their heads were sticking up, right? So in his storyline, they come to life and they crawl back out of the ground. Well, it was only like maybe 15, 20 years ago that they finally were able to excavate one of the Maori, one of the giant heads, and it does have a body underneath it. And they figured out that the architecture of the way the body was made, that they can actually wobble and walk down from the quarry, from where they were carved out of the mountain, and they walked them all the way down to the beach where they stood for 1,000 years or whatever.
So you're connecting this idea of a walking giant figure from a beginning point walking to an end point, and humans are the ones moving this giant.
Moving them, yeah. We're doing it.
Right, and now we're going to witness that event across Europe, ending in Liverpool. That's incredible. Well, it's important because we had a whole year of shutdowns and quarantines and no public festivals, no public rituals, no public gatherings. And now the first one to get a permit is Alma, a refugee girl walking from Syria-Turkey border across water to Italy, across water again, to end up in Liverpool. And I'm asking people in Italy, and are you guys aware of this? And they're like, no. So is this something that's going to get a lot of media attention, or is it just something that's going to be done? They're going to take pictures of it, and then they're going to talk about it 100 years from now? Is it like Woodstock?
That's a good question.
Some people were there, others weren't, but we have the videos of it.
So it had to have happened when we say it happened, right, in the history books, and the way it happened specifically, with whatever narrative they choose to give it.
If we write our notes on paper or papyrus, if we seal them in a jar and stick them in a cave, maybe we'll discover them. Some Nag Hammadi style.
Right.
That's what we need to do, guys.
Dead Sea Scrolls.
We need to start our own cult. Find some hidden texts and,
Or write some hidden texts.
No, we found them.
Oh, yeah, we found it. Shit.
We found
again
sacred
botching it left and right over here.
We need some Coptic hermetic jars, seal them.
Exactly. Thank you.
and then waterproof them, and then just bury them. Forget about them. And maybe some guys will dig them up and send them to a museum where they belong, in a museum.
I'm thinking somewhere near you by where the Kensington ruins. So, that feels like a good.
I feel like we're really
Just saying.
off.
Yeah, we are. It's fun though.
Well, no, I'm glad you
Warming
brought
up.
that up, because today I
I
was
was like,
thinking,
no,
Sync. Here we go.
this
here
is
it comes.
the giant, right? So I'm in Minnesota, and in Alexandria,
Bunyan.
Minnesota, Paul Bunyan is a giant. Yes, he's in Brainerd. He's in Brainerd, Minnesota, right? We have the Great Lakes, we have Lake Superior, and then there's Mille Lacs Lake. So you go towards Mille Lacs Lake, and you have Paul Bunyan and the legend and the myth of Paul Bunyan. In Alexandria, Minnesota, which again, Minnesota, the land of 10,000 plus lakes, there's a lot of water. There's a
Land of
lot of
lakes.
rivers, a lot of lakes, freshwater. In Alexandria, Minnesota, you mentioned Kensington Runestone. There's a Kensington Runestone Museum where they have they have the replica of the runestone. What is the runestone? We'll get to that.
And
In the
Alexandria.
museum,
Yeah, exactly.
say
Alexandria.
it, say it, say what we're
Alexandria
thinking.
Museum.
Alexandria,
Alexandria
Where the Colossus was.
Library of Alexandria.
Library. Burnt to
Sure.
shreds.
The giant
Sure.
in the port of Alexandria.
There's a
the
giant
Colossus.
Or-
there's
yeah.
a giant Viking statue in the middle of the street in Alexandria, right in front of the museum. So as a kid, I've got a bunch of pictures going there on summer trips, standing in front of a giant Viking statue.
Hmm.
We have the Minnesota Vikings football team.
Don't get me started on the horn. And what is his name? Hank. What's the? Sorry.
Gonna get Hank on the horn. We're gonna take some calls
We're going
tonight.
to get Hank on the horn.
Are you talking hanky panky calls? We're gonna have some obscene callers.
Let's do it.
Answer the phone, and
I will give the number out, but only if we get enough requests that people actually
Please
want
be
to
a
Well,
breather.
yeah.
Please be a breather. Ah.
call. Yeah, right.
the Kensington Runestone story. I'm gonna get a little bit. Can I
Do
raise
it.
my voice a little bit?
Do it.
I know we're in the ladies' room tonight.
Raise your voice,
Oh.
brother.
It's like I'm gonna speak loud so the
Do it
person
for
in
the
the next
patriarchy.
stall can hear me talking on my cell phone in the public restroom. So the Kensington Runestone, they find this stone. Some farmer in Alexandria, in Minnesota, where Minnesota is, not too far
Oh,
from
yeah.
Fargo.
Yeah, sure.
Can you
betcha.
grab?
Yeah.
Can you grab me a bag there?
Yeah.
I really needed a bag to put this in. Sorry.
Well, I
that's
get you a dozen bagels. I'll put them in the bag. And you want some mayonnaise for your bagels?
I need some bagels. Bagels.
Some butter on your bagels?
All right, we'll stop. Sorry. Did you see the 30 pointer? But anyway,
Dirty pointer.
that's the UP nonsense.
Come on.
but,
I haven't
yeah.
had my little lunch yet.
Oh,
Come on.
We'll
So
stop.
Kensington Runestone, this farmer, he's plowing his field. He strikes something hard. He digs it up and he finds this rock. And he looks at this rock. He dusts it off. He gets the soil off. Breaks the mud chunks off. He's like, "Oh no, there's some engraving here." And this was like, how many years ago? And this guy's like, "Well, how old is this thing?" So there's this mystery of Kensington Runestone, the claim being that Vikings, where did they come from? I don't know. How did they reach the middle of North America and leave a marker, which might be a property marker?
Oh, for sure. That stuff happened. They were all over the place here. There's connections. For sure.
So they were tracing their journey on this flat land across this great land. You see, it's like, they went over it to the Great Plains. Plains are flat. Or I don't know. But the question is this a real, authentic artifact, or was it forged? And there's some umlaut or some little dots over a letter, and they're saying, well, no, that's new, that's old. And how could a farmer himself have the knowledge to chisel into stone? So there's still a disagreement
Hook decks
about
too.
this.
That
You
was
want
the
to
big-
look up Kensington runestone. Well, what is Kensington? Is that a family name?
I believe it is. I think that's a coat of it feels like a Templar coat of like Scottish Templar coat of arms type situation. I could be totally wrong, but it just feels right.
So every few years, there's always a news story on local Minnesota stations, and they're like, "Oh, we have some new findings about the Kensington runestone." You know, it's like, okay, well, what are the new findings? And they might say that they connected it to a similar runestone, and they're trying to trace a path to say, well, these Vikings hit the East Coast, I don't know, Newfoundland or Plymouth Rock or somewhere, and
I think it's
they
Newfoundland
arrived
or Nova
before
Scotia
Columbus.
area. Yeah.
Did they arrive before Columbus in 1492?
For sure.
And then they walked across from sea to shining sea. And you know what? They were real men. They didn't have other men as puppeteers walking them across this great land.
Phone line's about to be open, by the way, and I'm going to give the number out.
Alan, you will like this. Chance just put in the chat that Vikings or VI Kings, as in Roman numeral.
6 kings or sex kings. Certainly.
Maybe he can enlighten us with that, Chance.
I've got paper. I've got a pen. I'm going to write all these notes down. We are learning so much.
Good to see a Chance in the chat. Blue wrench for you.
We're just trying to be relaxed tonight. We're trying to take it slow. We're trying not to talk over each other. No, Barsky likes to interrupt me, apparently. What's the deal with that?
Dirty.
We're not
awful.
polite. We are not polite. Talk over each other. But we are becoming more sensitive to the needs of the community and the group.
This is true.
Yeah, we said a lot of mean things. And
after
I don't
show,
need to be
that was rough. I know.
I don't need to be the first to apologize. I know you guys said some things you probably regret last night. And
I did.
A lot of damage was done. We made a lot of frenemies.
You know,
we're hanging out with us.
We need to get a therapist in this chat.
We nailed it.
We need someone from some anti-defamation league to
Sacha Baron Cohen. Sacha Baron Cohen.
Some sensitivity training. We need to become more sensitive.
Okay, so real quick, I'm going to give the number out if anybody does want to call in. We will patch you through. I've got it all set up. So 262-706-5936. Again, that number, 262-706-5936. If you feel like calling in, I'll post it as well. But
why are my glasses always fucking crooked, man? It's driving me crazy. I don't know what it is about my head.
It's your nose.
Well, okay, so one thing about my glasses, okay, this is funny. When I lost a shit ton of weight, my glasses didn't even fit anymore. I'm like,
wait, the size
what's
of
wrong
your
with my head? Yeah, no, it's just the fat around my head. Went away.
I got different glasses, but I take them off when I'm doing my readings, my sensitive, poetic readings, quietly whispering and mumbling to myself in the ladies' restroom so nobody hears me.
Yeah, because gotta be careful.
Because gender is a social construct, and
I don't believe in that.
I find that the female restrooms generally have cleaner toilet seats, so I don't have to mess with the napkins to go on the seat when I sit down. I just feel more comfortable that way.
You identify with a sitter? You
identify with hygiene. Mental hygiene.
Sitting
pure, clean thoughts and intentions. We're talking hygia. Clean thoughts, clean actions.
There it is.
Clean, family-friendly, appropriate, Christian. We're not ashamed here.
We're
We're
not
not
ashamed.
ashamed.
This is like, yeah, when I'm done, this is going up for kids. You know I'm checking that. The non-explicit, all of it.
We have some great recommendations for tooth and nail bands. If you guys like no effects, we have an alternative that's safe to listen to.
And for metal, we got your
Right.
solid state. We got all your solid state goods. Like
I got a couple comments from people who are like, man, I thought I was the only payable on death fan in the entire world, and nobody knows about their new albums, and nobody's supporting payable on death anymore. And I'm like,
wonder why.
I'm like, come on, man. They were sleeping awake in the Matrix soundtrack. I love that video. You're telling me they've made some new stuff? Well, I'm going to check it out after the show.
Are you?
I think so, yeah. I mean, they're a pretty spiritual band.
It took you a second. No.
Cheers. Cheers. I'm white clawing it.
He's like, yeah, I might do that. I might check.
Well, you know, I mean, there's the synchro-mystic connection where you're singing alive. I feel so alive when so many people lost their lives on September 11th. The day that POD released their satellite album.
That's right.
Really?
And how many satellites?
Remember
How many satellites have gone up in the sky since September 11th and the release of the Payable on Death POD? If you're looking on Google,
they're Christian.
capital P
They're Christian.
O D.
Mhm.
This has nothing to do with iPods
No.
or iPads.
But I gotta
POD was a rad band.
I will fight you, Gordon, but that's okay.
We will fight on a lot of things.
We will, but it's
The
okay.
cultural significance of POD cannot be understated or overstated. It must be recognized.
If Brainstorms, aka Jerky Fresh, were here, he would be probably on your side because he was defending new metal, and I just was like, I can't. So there's that.
We'll go back to direct current talk, DC or ACDC.
DC talk.
Yeah. Stop it.
Got me.
Stop
Let's
it.
not even. We're dropping that right then in there, and that's a wrap. With that, at least
We can't talk about the Supernatural album.
I don't even know what that means.
Know?
No, because I was like, "Are you kidding me? This is."
Do they have an album called Starlink too?
Okay, yeah, that's what I want to go with. You guys, I'm grabbing the wheel.
Take it. Take it.
Okay, so satellites. You mentioned that with 9/11, how many satellites had gone up, blah, blah, blah. Now, there's a lot of speculation out here, and I've heard one Mr. Last name rhymes with false, talking about how satellites are satelloons and all this shit. Multiple things. I've heard a lot of things. Some intriguing, I guess, documentation I've also discovered regarding satellites or satelloons, if you will. Now, I don't necessarily know how I feel about it. It's like we were talking last episode about how these are questions. We're all asking these questions, right? We're not here to answer anything. We don't have the answers. That's why we're having fun asking questions. So anyway,
hey, if we're not having fun, just stop, turn us off.
Exactly.
Just walk away. Just walk away wherever you want to go.
Ooh, by the way, Ron in the chat, Slayer put out God Hates Us All 9/11 2001. That's actually a decent Slayer record. And I got a sync here real quick that I have to do because Megan's now in the chat. I saw Slayer for the first time. I remember John handing me a joint and was like, no. Take this joint. It's all yours and go watch Slayer because shame on you. You're like 31 and you've never seen Slayer before. And I was like, yeah, isn't that, it's pretty messed up, right? And I remember walking over, leaving her and John, walking to the stage to watch Slayer, and Angel of Death. Like anybody that knows Slayer, like those lyrics are just. I remember driving; they'll just randomly pop in my head, like Auschwitz, the meaning of pain, the way that I want you to die, slow death, immense decay, yada yada. So I'm so baked, just standing there watching, like, yeah, I'm seeing Slayer, awesome, cool, and Angel of Death. They start playing Angel of Death, and I had a brain wipe. I could not remember any of all the times. I was like, "This is happening to me right now." I can't remember any of the lyrics to Angel of Death, and then they finally came back to me about 3/4 of the way through the song, and I'm just like, "What was that?" I mean, of all the songs, too, like that's the one. I mean, if any Slayer fan knows that's the one, or not even
Sure.
just
not raining blood.
Slayer. Well, I'm
Raining
glad you
Blood.
talked about Slayer because we need to mention that there was a man. He was a lamb. He was slayed for your sins. And Payable on Death has an album called Satellite, released September 11th, 2001. And on the cover, within the circle, POD, within the circle, they have this symbol, and it's like three things. You have the Vesica Pisces is 2, but this is 3. And I think I need to go to Vigilant Citizen for a decode of the spooky symbolism on this religious album. Did you
Here's
guys
another
ever
thing.
have that talk with your youth pastor about the music that you can listen to or not listen to? Because there's a lot of subliminal symbols in the music videos of Amy Grant when she wears stars on her hands, wearing red silk gloves.
Yeah, doing her El Shaddai song.
What is that? What is an El Shaddai anyway? I
Come
don't
on,
know
guys.
if I can say that word.
Right. Well,
Is it a hard D like El Shaddai? Shaddai?
could be a hard R. I don't know.
Our Hebrew pronunciation tonight is a little difficult.
It is. But I've got actual backwards masking books in this closet right here that are from like the early 80s that are like talking shit about like Kiss, Dr. Hook, like all these Dr. Hook, dude. No joke. Like
Christopher Cross.
probably
He was a
like
big
what I
Satanist,
can't be
yeah.
into like sailing. Or that's
Sailing, yeah. Yeah, no, it's sailing.
Yeah, that's sailing. He's got a couple of Ride Like the Wind, right?
Ride like the wind.
That's a great song. Michael McDonald on some of those tracks too. I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
that's right.
There's only one Michael. His name is Michael. His middle name is W, and you know his last
Smith.
name, John
You
Smith.
gotta bring it always. We constantly bring it back to this.
You know what? You know what? There's sacred and there's profane, and you are talking about profane music. I want to talk about spiritually
Sacred.
uplifting work
You mean secular?
By-
I'm sorry.
by artists.
Secular.
Your music is Your music is succular.
It is
I listen to succulent, delicate, delicious jams
No
from my
infant
favorite
victim.
bands. DC Talk.
POD.
DC. Or Jars of Clay. Jars of Clay. I'm sorry, guys. Let's be realistic here.
Jars of Clay has a
Guys.
song about the flood. You guys
Guys,
remember that?
those guys
DC.
have nothing on Petra. Come on.
Dude, Petra. I remember
Come
Petra.
on, right?
Yeah. But
And
Striper.
Ah!
I had a Striper poster forever. Like I think I left it in Austin when I left there. Like left a lot of great posters. But
By
yeah,
these
777.
by these stripes we pay our bills. We slash our
Right.
credit cards through stripe pavement portals. Because that's what it is. We had the conversation earlier offline about music industry and who makes the most money. And I was like, guys, I'm telling you, you want to make money. You're a Christian
guys.
band in America.
That's
You're
right.
Gonna,
That's
you're
right.
Gonna sell. You will sell
We signed to a Christian
all of
label.
your merchant.
Yep.
You will sell all of your merchandise. Did you guys ever go to Cornerstone Music Festival?
Dude, that was insane.
Purple Door.
I've never had kids as insane ripping the microphone out of my hands to scream the hook. Like, I'm like, what is, I don't even know. You guys probably barely even know these, like, but you know this hook for some reason. Like, we didn't even distribute
Right.
that properly.
Right.
Like, what?
They know
Whatever.
they know the song lyrics before you know them.
Yeah, right.
So like how can they sing them and you're on stage and you're just mumbling along because you forgot what the next line was.
I did make up some.
How's
When you're
the chat
screaming
tonight?
like that, you know,
how are the chats tonight? What are we saying?
I've
We're all right.
ruined weddings, dude. Forgetting lyrics. I have ruined weddings.
Wait, what? All right, so you gotta, expound.
So I used to be like, hang on, my dogs are doing weird stuff.
So you have to listen closely.
So I was a Christian singer. I was being groomed to be a Christian singer in high school.
Still are a Christian singer.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, okay. Anyway,
Elvis Presley
I'm gonna
sang
go.
some
I'm gonna go
great gospel.
He did. This
Yes,
is true.
He did.
This is true.
But I was being groomed. I was doing studio work for our pastor's wife, and she was writing for those names: Michael W. Smith, Amy Grant, and all Mylon Lefebvre, and like groups like that. So I did her demos to send to those distributors. Sparrow was a huge company. Do you guys know Sparrow?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely,
Okay.
Sparrow.
Yeah, Sparrow was enormous, and they had a captive audience. They had a completely insular culture.
Ask the
Christian
chat.
community.
The question of the night is: what is your favorite Christian band? No apologies, no guilty pleasures, just straight up.
Zayo.
What Christian band is your favorite, and maybe what Christian band has most influenced you? Some people would say Payable on Death when they saw them on TRL.
Zayo for me, literally.
Funeral of God. That show was insane.
Where Blood and Fire Bring Rest, that record for me.
There's the other podcast, the Tooth and Nail podcast. Did you guys catch any of that?
Dude, I stopped Tooth and Nail.
Matt from Emory is doing a podcast talking about the history of Tooth and Nail.
Well, I'd like to get in on that because I feel like we weren't on Tooth and Nail. We played a Frodis. There's some great bands on that label. Shit.
You mentioned X-Toll.
X-Toll. That was and Strong Arm. I'm sorry, Strong Arm and No Innocent Victim.
I want to change my answer. I know I said Payable on Death.
Please do.
I want to say Payable on Death, but the problem was I never got to see them play live. One band I did get to see live, who also played on MTV, Blindside. You guys remember?
Were they Christian?
Pitiful? Blindside.
I know the name.
Blindside from not from
Come
America.
on, Jim, jump in. You got to say
Jim knows Blindside, right? They have the music video Pitiful, where they're in this box and it's tumbling like a dice, and they're trying to play their instruments and it keeps tumbling. Mm-hmm. They have another song where they have there's a forest scene, and the lead singer, his arm is like Stretch Armstrong, and he's trying to reach out, and it's like, all of us are searching for an open.
That was a Christian band too, Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah, sorry. Stretch Armstrong. Yeah, don't apologize for mentioning Christian bands. Not. We are not ashamed of the gospel.
I love it. Oh, you're on fire, dude. You are on fire.
None of this Gnostic gospel business. I'm tired of this.
Kind of into it though.
It's Archon heresy, Beelzebub, Yaldabaldi.
It's kind of chicken snake god. I'm kind of into it. Abraxas. What up, Marty Leeds? What up, Amora Russell?
Is Marty Leeds in here?
He will. Well, no, but I'm just saying, his mysteries.
Check out my shirt.
Oh, dinosaurs? Fake.
They got dinosaurs.
Fake and gay. I mean, GHEY.
There's a Leviathan, and then there's another. What's the other word that's in the Bible to describe a great beast? Leviathan, Behemoth.
Behemoth. Yeah, it's a black, not even a black metal, but they're pretty freaking heavy. Polish, satanic.
Right. And the Bible describes these beasts as Behemoth.
Sorry, I have to. I'm a spaz. I love you.
Behemoth. Is it a silent H?
Behemoth. Yeah, I'm probably way wrong.
Behemoth.
So we're having a book club and we're reading books, right? So it's not an audio book. We're reading words on a page, and we're encountering new words for the first time, and we're hooked on phonics. So we're learning how to pronounce words. And when I say behemoth, that's how I said it in my head.
I love you.
So it's like the first time you see a word and you're trying to pronounce it for the first time, and you're struggling. It's a tongue twister, and you're trying to say it. And that's how you speak it. And you say it in your mind, and then you get in a conversation with another kid in Sunday school, and he's like, Behemoth, Nehemiah, Nineveh, And I'm like, I'm in junior Bible quiz. I have trophies from my junior Bible quiz career. Started out in the first grade, memorizing scripture.
Still have a little trophy, a little blue.
This
blue,
thing is
big ass. Oh, he's still got it. Oh, here he goes. He's going to show us. Oh yeah.
It's a little bit dusty. Okay, check. Okay,
You're a Christian champion.
You guys, I'll be right back with a bigger one. I'm just starting small. I don't want to completely blow your mind on my early expertise. You guys, I promise you, I'll be right back.
Do it. Okay, so let's address some chat. Also, don't be pussies. Don't not call in, because seriously, I got it all rigged up right now for y'all to call in. So the number, one sec. Or go ahead, Gordon. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say the guys are talking in the chats talking about Barzum.
Okay, yeah. Burzum, black metal, Varg. You know Varg is. You know the story. Have you seen Lords of Chaos by chance? The movie about mayhem. Story of mayhem.
Right, the guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, Varg, the guy killed.
Right.
Yeah. Why? How am I blanking on that? He started Burzum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right, or am I wrong? I mean, am I just stupid? I mean, is my brain just melting? But I'm pretty. Was it Oswald that mentioned it, or was it Ben?
And he actually burned churches, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like he absolutely burned those churches. Yeah.
These holy wars.
Thank you, Veronica.
Holy wars.
Satan Israel. That's a good record too, by the Lovin Brothers.
Are you guys ready to see what I got to show you? I didn't know this would be show and tell tonight.
Again, 262-706-5936, dude. Who's got balls? I don't know.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm a pretty humble guy, but I did win some awards for my junior Bible quiz. I don't know. Can you see that?
Look at you, Mr. Fancy Pants.
You see? Can you read it? Saying
I can see. Yeah.
Bible. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, junior Bible quiz.
Wow. So here's the thing, like.
Wow.
Damn. I mean, dang.
Well, I was the team captain. There was 3 other people with me, but I was the highest scorer. I mean, they could hit the buzzer. They each had their own individual buzzers. It's like a game show, like a quiz show. There's 4 people on each team.
Too?
Well, no, I mean this is the humble reward ceremony, and we knew each other because they're all our friends from the next church over.
Holy crap!
So here's the green one, and I have to apologize. This was not the original topper. Cover your eye, cover her up.
Oh,
right. You see, she's got a torch, but this was not the original topper. I think the original topper broke, and then they replaced it with some.
So she's not Columbia. She's not ISIS.
It's not the original thing, because we had the junior Bible quiz logo, so I'll just leave them there for now. But
just a heads up, guys. Sorry, go ahead, Gordon.
I was just going to say that's Winged Victory.
It is Winged
Victory.
Columbia.
It is.
Oh yeah. There you go. But by the way, Varg was banned from YouTube like a year or 2 ago, which is surprised. The last time I checked, he did have a YouTube page that was up and running. He was like talking about his life in France, like mid-South France, I think he was living with his wife. Reformed Nazi. Gotta love it, right? Reformed.
They're all reformed, right?
No, I mean like reformed, like neocons are reformed conservatives. He's a reformed Nazi, like he's a neo-Nazi. I don't know. Yeah, that guy's a real winner. He's a real winner. Things are going to change.
The important thing
I can
is we
feel
all
it. I can feel
have an upbringing,
I'm a driver. I'm a
like
winner.
a religious upbringing, whatever that is, and that influences us today. So when we are listening to
Don't
this great
say
music, you don't want me to talk about DC talk. You're not
Can't
down
believe
with
you.
the DC.
I know
Stop
for
it.
real. Like
Okay.
it's
You're not
it's
down
bad.
with the DC talk.
So
Good.
remember,
Fake ass rap.
remember I was telling you my stepsister managed Skillet. She also managed DC Talk.
What
That was
is
like
going
her
on?
first big gig.
Okay, and the thing about Skillet is I had no idea I was running a restaurant in Milwaukee in like 26. Terry, you know what's up in the chat. We were running the burger joint in Cudahy, and who was it though? Kat. I don't know if you were there, Terry, when Kat worked there, but anyway, she was the front of house manager for a minute, and she was like, "You going to Summerfest tonight?" I was like, "No, I don't go to." Like, I hate Summerfest. Like, I don't want to be in crowds. But Skillet's playing, and I know you're into rock and roll. And I was like, "Who is Skillet?" I didn't
Skillet
know.
is
I know.
a band who combines all the best qualities of music and genre, and they take all these ingredients and they throw them in their skillet and they cook it up just right.
Scattered,
And
smothered, and covered.
we are the pan heads. We are the fans. We support the band.
We are the
from
youth of a
Kenosha,
nation.
Wisconsin.
I'm sorry. Wait, what? Down the street?
Well, if we're going with an actual timeline, I listened
Okay.
to Skillet before POD.
I'm just saying,
Because Skillet,
is it weird that I never heard of them being from here?
it's weird now when
think
people
you missed out,
listen
dude.
to Skillet and they hear
I know I
Skillet in like wrestling matches because they're the Brock anthem for certain wrestlers now.
Like the Ultimate Warrior. As long as it's not for the Butcher and the Blade, because I know the Butcher. That's Andy Williams from Every Time I Die, the guitarist. What up, Andy?
Oh, that's right. It is.
It's been a long time. Yeah, that's my boy. I haven't seen him in a minute. But
Who's
funny.
their favorite band in the chat? Have we got some Christian bands, some
yeah,
favorites? Some
in
comments?
the chat, what's up? We got any random, like, because clearly young Alan and myself and Gordon, we've all been exposed at least to the
It's Alan Marcus. It's like one name. It's like if you know.
two
There's
first
the name
name have an ass.
Anne-Marie.
Two first name have an
You
ass,
know,
motherfucker.
Yeah. And it's
Can't be
Marcus
trusted.
86.
Can't be
Marcus
trusted.
86 on Twitter. And the reason it's called, you know what the number 86 means?
Yeah,
86.
we're out. You're out. Right. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's
That's one of the reasons. I mean, there's a few different reasons why.
service
I chose that
industry. I
username.
mean, service industry lifer. So
Do you know a band that has the number 86 in their name?
hold on.
Think
I know.
about it. We'll come back to it.
I
Does
do.
anybody
I
know
I
a
do.
band with a number 86 in their title?
I know the band 77s.
77.
Blank 77.
Who? Okay, so I have a connection to that band. Do you know the 77s?
Are you talking about Blank 77, the punk rock band?
No.
No, I don't.
Just 77s. They were actually
old 97s, but
decent rock. Of the
Okay,
Christian bands of the
77s.
80s,
I'm with you here.
they were the good ones. So Mark Tootle, the bass player for the 77s, produced an album that I did in the 80s with my girlfriend, and they ruined this thing. Absolutely
it wasn't already ruined
took
with
a shit on it by adding a soft jazz sax solo. I was fucking furious, dude.
like
I
it's
was
like
furious.
it's St. Elmo's Fire
Furious.
soundtrack or something.
Oh my god, it was. I mean, it was already
Had to.
bad, but then they added that, and it was. Oh, I can't listen.
Do you
to it.
remember the
Never
Columbia?
Yeah, of course. Columbia House. We've
music,
talked about this on the show
Columbia
multiple
House.
times. Yeah, how it
Oh, did you
ruined our
get
credit. all over
There
here.
was you get something in the mail, and it'd be like all these little like stamps, and you tear them off and you lick them and you put them on a sheet.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
send it in and say, I want these CDs for 1 penny. A penny, you get like 7 CDs for a penny or something.
12. It was 12.
It depends on the offer. There's a few different offers,
Well,
and there's another
BMG
club.
BMG and Columbia House. Yeah.
There was a Christian music version of this.
Oh, gross. Glad I was paying attention.
Oh,
Well,
that's right.
there's a Christian music version of this distribution model, and somehow I get signed up on a list or something. And I had just gotten a CD player. I'd asked for one, and I just gotten a CD player. I did not have any CDs. I had a cassette tape that I got from a Newsboys concert when they played "Step Up to the Microphone."
I remember Newsboys,
Oh my God.
but Matt
When
Vrabel,
Newsboys played "Step Up to the Microphone" at the Target Center, I bought their cassette tape for "Step Up to the Microphone." I didn't have any CDs yet. I joined the club, and I think I won't even. I still have those CDs. I won't say what I got, but one of the selections was a '77 CD. I think I sent it back. I didn't listen to it. and then the next
guys are
month,
really cool, actually.
and then the next
really
month, I get a Project 86 CD.
Oh,
okay.
really?
Project A. All right. So wait, Matt Vrabel is killing it, and he just texted me, and he's on the road. He'll be.
What's he got?
Okay. He goes 86 pence, none the richer. Open for Letters to Cleo. So there you go. Hit that up.
Like Miss Cleo, she's a psychic from Florida.
Man, Letters to Cleo. Letters to Cleo was like a random alternative like band in the Parks and Recreation, which I think is a fantastic show. Well, extremely well written. But
Barsky, do you want your children writing letters to Miss Cleo in Florida asking for
I actually do. Yep.
for divination, for tarot card readings?
What's the song? I can't. The hook to the song is so memorable because it's like like that's the hook to the song almost. And if you heard it, you'd know it. It's a girl singer. It's actually super catchy.
Yeah, you'd recognize it.
Everybody would recognize it. And it's like a running inside joke on all through Parks and Recreation. And then in the last episode when Jeff Tweedy and Wilco,
they're like Point of Grace. Are they like
they're not a Christian band, but they're
not like Rebecca St. James.
What is? I don't. You see, you've got. Okay, so I got out of Christian everything when I was like 4. Dude, when I was like 12, I was totally probably before that.
So let me finish the story about the Columbia House
Go for
records.
it, sorry.
I get the Project 86 CD. The album is Drawing Black Lines. They're from Southern California. They had done their self-titled album, and there was a song that collaborated with POD. It was like Six Sirens. So you have Sonny Sandoval from POD singing with the lead singer, Andrew Schwab. He called himself Schwab Macabre. Spooky Andrew. In Project 86, they have this giant dragon logo, and they have this album called Drawing Black Lines. I'm like, there's a dragon on the cover. I don't know, because I'm listening to music like the Newsboys.
You're brainwashed.
DC Talk.
I love you, but
My brain was clean. It was hygienic.
That's what I mean.
My mind every morning, perfectly fine.
Wow.
So this is like 1998, 99. This is how I got into the spooky hardcore music. Because a Christian music club, I said, I like rock music. Okay, I like rock music like the Newsboys, Step Up to the Microphone. I like rock music. Well, DC Talk sometimes rocks too. They get a little aggressive. They get a little uppity and they sing kind of loud.
Dude, and they tried to rap. Like,
no, they don't.
Yeah.
No, they don't. They're white bread.
Yes.
Even though they had a black guy.
They're from Liberty. They met at
Okay.
Liberty University. They formed in college and became a very successful band. I almost said bland. DC Talk is so far from bland.
Proper Freudian
That's
slip there. That's a great phrase.
That's the truest thing you said so far.
I love it.
It was bland.
We love you, Alan. We do love you. Trust me.
I'm just sharing my soul and my testimony
I
tonight.
know.
I hope that someone in the chat.
We got to get Brisson in here. John Brisson needs to join.
Someone in the chat room is going to hear my story, and you know what? I had a similar story, similar place, and I can relate.
I'm calling Brisson, but go ahead, keep going. I'm texting him.
Where was I? What was I saying?
Bland. DC Talk.
So
all we heard was bland, and we were like, yeah. Yep.
You guys hear what you want to hear. Are you really
Oatmeal.
hearing the words that coming out of my mouth? Right.
We're listening. We're not. I don't know if we're
You're
hearing
talking
it, but we're
breakfast.
listening.
There's a song called "Breakfast" by the band The Newsboys, and they incorporate every cereal
toast.
in this song.
Yes.
White toast and Cheerios, right?
Okay, after this, take your sheet of paper, write down Newsboys.
I need my toilet paper
No,
for that.
Breakfast.
I'm not doing that.
So I can
And listen
feverishly
to the
rip the
breakfast.
toilet paper when writing it down.
Right. On the sanitary napkin.
We by the way.
Oh.
So I get this Project 86 CD. I put it in my CD player, and I'm listening to it, and it's just it's the heaviest thing I was listening to on a CD that I listened to that I own. I owned it, so I could listen to this thing over and over and over again. So that's kind of where the name came from, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm an alien youth. Skillet sings about this being set apart, being different, Christian punks, that sort of thing.
Scattered Few had a bunch of space stuff. Their second album was called Grandmother's Spaceship. I have to go back to that because I haven't even thought about those guys since until our last show when we were talking about HR. But their second album was talking about space junk,
Heavy Metal
HR.
Magazine,
satellites,
HR from Bad Brains.
HR from Bad Brains.
Only
Human
the front man.
Relations. What is HR?
So
The front man of Bad Brains. That's his name.
I think it was human rights, right?
Human rights.
Isn't that
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but Scattered Few, the Christian band who backed up HR, their second album was called Grandmother's Satellite or Grandmother's Spaceship, I think, but it had a song about space junk. But they had that whole satellite thing going too. But I mean, satellite is also a name for disciple.
All right,
if you
let's
look
go.
up the roots,
Let's go.
if
Yeah,
you
let's
look up
go.
The roots,
The etymology.
satellite and just
Okay, let's
or
dig
not the
deeper.
etymology
Because the
necessarily,
moon-
but
the moon is the natural satellite, right?
right.
Is
Yeah.
Or an
The
unnatural.
moon, well, it's a
We don't know.
satellite,
It's a satellite. Yeah.
And-
Sorry.
but
Mhm.
it's also the disciple of the earth. It's also been called. And the disciples of Christ were the satellites of Christ.
I like that. I like that
Mhm.
a lot.
Boom!
Yeah, right. Where the
This is where I
mind
dropped-
explosion emojis
Yeah.
right now. Come on, guys, get it together.
This is just
Because I'm ready.
This is just
I'm ready.
free thought bullshit that we're
Yeah, but
just-
the disciple as a transitive verb is to convert a person into a disciple.
Sounds kind of culty if you ask me.
So
but,
to disciple somebody, you have like the
Discipline.
Jesus people, the Jesus freaks. DC Talks sings about the Jesus people who gathered together to play their music, and they sing a song. I wish we'd all been ready. Anybody? Crickets? Sure.
Wait, I'm sorry. What?
wish you'd
Repeat
all
that.
been ready. Is that a Left
DC
Behind
Talk
reference?
sings a song.
Ready for the
called
rapture?
I wish we'd all been ready.
DC
Which is a
Talk songs.
cover.
Yeah.
Again.
Which
Oh,
is a
again,
cover.
my favorite because they're so passionate.
So
full of-
they're so
It's a,
serious.
it's a
Sincere,
Larry
so
Norman.
sincere and-
It's a Larry Norman song. And you know how I know Larry? Because there's a thing called Veggie Tales and there's a
Yeah, I
cucumber
was gonna
named
say-
Larry.
Well, Larry Norman was a huge writer, though. He wrote for
Absolutely.
everybody.
Absolutely. He's got long hair, beard, total hippie.
Yeah,
Total hippie.
Larry Norman wrote everything. Let me
Total
see.
hippie.
Is
So then
is
there's-
Nickelback Christian? And I'm asking for Megan in the chat. I don't. Are they? Were they should? They're shitty enough to be. And I'm not saying Christians are shitty musicians. I'm saying that like most promoted Christian, like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm saying Creed is.
Oh, Creed. It's Creed. If that's an easy, it's like Creed 3 Doors Down. Yeah, right. Scott Stapp, that fat face piece of.
Well, the common denominator here is all of these bands who started playing music in churches. These teenagers learned to play music so they could play in the church.
I was in youth group. I remember. Yeah.
And then they have worship bands in a youth group. Maybe they meet on a Wednesday night
Our
or whatever.
original
And
drummer,
the teenagers join together, gathering. They have their own service, and they put on their own service. They play their own music. They perform the worship songs. They play in the bands.
They need to be playing Church of the Cosmic Skull songs, because those are actual proper good songs, like that are in the vein of like of the like worship, like evangelical worship songs. If people that don't know about Church of the Cosmic Skull, go now, Google them, listen to them. They're amazing, because they're on the level, on the mystical, like the mystical level, all of it, and it's like a running joke on
the level.
Hey,
and they tune to 432A. Like, they insist on tuning, and the music sounds happier, and it sounds right.
It sounds different. Yeah.
Okay.
It does sound different. Now, you're going down that kind of
where are we going?
Doom rock mystic thing.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on Mastodon stuff? Because they've got a lot of that Viking giant shit.
I go way back.
Mastodons aren't real, but
no, the band.
Are.
No, the band.
Mastodons they're not real, but behemoths are, because behemoths are in the Bible. So if you go to the Creation Science Museum, you're not gonna find a mastodon.
No, we're talking about the band. The band Mastodon.
The music.
The music of
I'm
the
talking
band.
about the Bible, the source of all inspiration for every band ever.
Yeah, right. But I'm saying he just is curious about Mastodon. Like, what was it again? What was the question about Mastodon, Gordon?
Mastodon has tons of Viking.
Yeah.
What is a Mastodon?
Nordic.
What is a Mastodon?
A Mastodon. I mean, just a joke.
It's a band. In this,
it's a band, and it's also technically it's like a mammoth, a giant mammoth type.
So you're saying it's like a big hairy elephant?
To a degree, from what I gather. I could be totally wrong. I don't know, but that's.
What is a mastodon?
I think you're thinking of mammoth. You're thinking of mammoth.
Yeah, mammoth. Mammoth
is Mastodon and mammoths are different species.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, are dinosaurs even real?
Yes, they're on my shirt, dude.
Mastodon. Genus Mammut. Any of several extinct elephantine animals that first appeared in the early Miocene, 23 million years to 2.6 million years ago. If you can believe Encyclopedia Britannica, they're basically giant elephants.
There you go. So I wasn't off.
What's a mammoth? What is a mammoth?
It's a hairier creature of the same.
It's the same thing.
Same thing,
anyway,
basically. Yeah.
So
let's do this real quick.
Mastodon, and I really haven't dug this. I just from listening to a lot of Mastodon, they're always got stuff about the behemoth. They've always got stuff about the Leviathans.
Well, it depends on where we start, because we can go
mythical
from
animals.
Their hardcore. Yeah. We can go from their like hardcore relapse roots, their beginnings, where it was literally like March of the Fire Ants days, which is one of my favorite songs from Leviathan, the record Leviathan. And they were playing in circles of friends bands of that spawned out of bands that I was in, and then they.
Barsky.
Yeah.
Why are these bands taking names from?
It's clever. No, it's literally clever. I know how the name Mastodon became, because Brand was playing drums in Today Is the Day and was starting a new band, and called Scott Kelly from Neurosis and said, "Hey, is Mastodon? I'm thinking about starting this other. I started this other band, and I'm going through band names, and I'm wondering, Matt, what do you think about the band name Mastodon?" And Scott Kelly was like, "Huh," and he like put the phone down for a second, put it up and asked his like 15-year-old son Damien. He was like, "Hey, what do you think about the band name Mastodon for a band name?" He's like, "That's a badass band name." He picked the phone back. He was like, "Well, Damien likes it, and yeah, I trust his judgment." And then that was a wrap. That's it. That's how they got the band name. They took the band name. So, and you can look this up. It's been documented all over. But anyway, it's Mastodon. I have a bunch of crazy syncs that I'm not even going to go into because they just involve.
Did anybody think that DC Talk was a political band based out of Washington, D.C.?
No.
Oh, because we listened to good music. We didn't
Yes.
listen to DC Talk.
Stopped. I stopped. I remember
Stop
having
with
a
the
cassette.
DC Talk,
I had
please.
cassette tapes of.
For God's sake.
Yeah, we got to stop. DC. No.
No,
I
we're
can't
not
believe it's
going
even
down
been
DC
brought back
Talk.
into my.
Wait.
Yeah.
Once I get
We
on the
can-
DC Talk thought train, there's no stopping.
Oh yeah, there is. I'm pulling the emergency brake and disconnecting you from. You're gonna
make me go let the goats out, man.
Toby
You're gonna
Mac.
have to-
Toby Mac told us all how many years ago that we were living in extreme days. We're living. And he wasn't wrong. It's true.
How prophetic.
Oh, the
How
prophetic.
We
all the
live in a
prophecies of Toby
diverse
Mac.
city. We live in a diverse city, and we're living in extreme days.
Blood Mountain, yes. Thank you, Megan.
I'm going to read to you lyrics, if you don't
Oh
mind.
no, please. Okay. Okay, if I get to read Mastodon, wait. If I get to read Descendants lyrics.
Because there's a movie. There was a Christian movie called Extreme Days. Coming at you like a whirlwind, 100 miles an hour, where we'll begin. I spy the eye of apprehension. Show me risk and you'll get my attention. Come on, can you take it? Bang to the bip, I make you wanna flip. Take my trip and you can bust your lip. I never fear because I live fearless. Don't even think for a second you can get with this. Come on, I never fake it. Come on, these are extreme days.
Nah, I
Bang to the bit, I make you wanna flip.
That's some white bread shit, man. That is some oatmeal without not even brown sugar, nothing in it.
There's a movie. There is a movie, Extreme Days movie.
Yeah.
While you're digging that up.
Okay.
It's about 4 lifelong friends. They go on a road trip and they play extreme sports. They like to surf. They like to snowboard.
So is this about the dipshits that make the baskets? That Christian guy goes, what is it? What's their name? You know what I'm talking about? Those guys. There's a Christian group that has a huge YouTube channel where they just make extreme basketball shots and stuff like that. They just do stupid shit in a warehouse.
Are they like? There was a thing called the Power Team where they're like bodybuilders and they tear phone books.
Power Team.
Power Team would show up at your church on Sunday, and that's true. That's true.
No, this is not.
We are off the rails.
Not anything what I was talking about.
Well, let's change topics. You mentioned a square. I asked you, are you on the level? We can talk about Ghost.
Don't talk about the band Ghost. I was about to say.
Are you on the square? Are you on the level?
Square hammer, man. Let's do it.
Right.
Are you ready to swear right here, right now before the devil?
There's a book written pseudonymously by a guy named A Square. He signed the book A Square. He wrote a book called Flatland, A Romance of Many Dimensions in 1884. Have you read this book called Flatland?
I haven't.
It's on my Twitter feed.
Oh, okay. Do we want to share the screen for this? Do you want to go there?
You can just show the cover of the book. I mean, it's just kind of where we wanted to go here because this is our
all right.
This is our reading room. This is our book club.
We're back on track, gentlemen.
The problem was we listened to too much music. We didn't read enough literature.
You mean you listened to too much? They who shall not be named ever again. I've got to give you grief, and it stops now. The grief ends here. All right, so this is what we're talking. Flatland.
Has anybody read Flatland?
It's a good. Nope. Not me.
There's a pentagon shape on the cover. Pentagon. Written by A Square. Was this Square author on the level? I don't know.
So he was a nerd?
Yeah, he had to be because he's talking about geometry.
Definitely.
Who else is going to write a story about geometry with two-dimensional characters?
It's a good
Two-dimensional character.
price, $half a crown.
Yeah.
How much is it? Well, we'll deal with that later. So what's this about? What's the situation here with Flatland, a romance of many dimensions? Edwin Abbott.
It's one of those stories. It's kind of like Gulliver's Travels.
Okay, so
we talked about Lilliputians. It's It's a lesser known work, but I think people should be aware of it.
Okay, so we'll get
This is our reading club, and we're going to read this book. Also, Mount Analog. Let's scroll up. Let's jump to Flat Stanley. Let's talk about Flat Stanley. Did you guys ever read the book Flat Stanley? Scroll all the way up to the top. Stanley. There it is. You read Flat Stanley, Gordon. You read it to your daughter. Did your daughter participate in Flat Stanley activities?
We sent it to Montana. We sent Flat Stanley to Montana and Colorado, I think, and wherever family was.
You can click the link, flatstanleyproject.com.
All right.
So this kind of connects back to what we were talking about yesterday. So many generations at this point now, because it goes back to, I think, the 70s. When did they? Well, when they first, you see President here holding a Flat Stanley. This is like a paper doll. So you have a paper doll, a two-dimensional representation of an idea of a two-dimensional person who travels around the world. This is a school project for children who create their own Flat Stanley. They fold them up flat. They put them in an envelope, and they send it to someplace around the world, as far away as they can get.
Like random, like that sounds kind of fun.
Somebody they know who will respond, and Flat Stanley goes on an adventure with the person that you send it to. So the person you send it to will take a picture, they'll write a letter, they'll write a story, they'll say, Flat Stanley and I today went to the beach and we had a good time, and here's a picture, and here's our cultural history. And then you, in your class, you get the letters back because they send it to your school. And then at the end of the year, because you do this in like the fall, so then you have a couple months, and then somebody has a couple, months to develop a story, and they'll send you stuff. You'll get postcards from Flat Stanley
with
wherever
updates,
it is.
right?
So if I'm in Minnesota and I send this to, Liverpool, for example, so someone in Liverpool will take Flat Stanley, put them in front of statues in Liverpool, and then they'll say, today we went and we saw a statue of John Middleton. Who's John Middleton? Well, today, Flat Stanley, this tiny little paper doll, stood next to a tall statue of a giant man named John Middleton in Liverpool. And then I'll tell the classes, I'll read the letter, and it's sort of a show and tell experience. And we learn about the world through this Flat Stanley project.
Can I, all right, so I have a quick comment here. Can you, they had to keep, because this is like a paper, like cut out clearly, thing. Mm-hmm. So it's going to change every time. I'm assuming they make a new one. I was thinking, man, if this Flat Stanley or whatever was actually like maintained its form, its original form. Can you imagine how charged with just insane, all sorts of crazy energy that thing would be? Look who's holding this shit. Clinton, Hillary, like the people that with this Flat Stanley. Yes. So I guess that would create like almost like a tulpa, not a tulpa, but like a of sorts. Around
Flat Stanley is absolutely a meme.
Yeah, a meme, but I'm saying
before the internet.
Yeah,
he's talking about
infused with in memetics. Yeah, exactly. In memetics is that in digital form.
Thumbs and
go ahead, Jim.
Sorry, Jim.
His hands. I've just as an artist, I just can't deal with bad hands.
I get it.
Driving me crazy. Look at
five fingers, no
terrible
thumbs.
artwork.
5 fingers.
Ugh.
Little nubby thumbs. Like what is he?
This is a true 5-finger death punch. Did I get the reference right?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is
Thank
a
you.
reference, yes.
It's a reference
all.
to something.
Jim, are we?
I don't know what.
Oh, look
Is
at
that a
this
band?
one. Look at these winners.
So what you're saying is we need to go around the country.
Is that Larry
and burn
David?
all of the flat Stanleys in the world to rid them of the bad juju that they've gotten from the Clintons.
No joke.
Well,
Well,
we
and
have
all
a
the
paper doll.
war criminals. I mean, where's Kissinger?
Right,
I'm waiting for
all the war-
Kissinger. I'm waiting for
Right.
Werner von Braun. Like, I mean,
This is school curriculum. This is a long-lasting tradition. This is something that
There you
I
go,
did
bring
when
that
I was
one.
in school. This is something that I would assume people
We'll
are
save that
still
one.
doing in public school. Has anyone in chat, sent or received a flat Stanley in the mail?
I'm gonna
Oh, yeah,
peruse
they're
that
still doing
while
it.
y'all
I'm
keep
sure
running.
they're still doing it.
Oswald says Flatland is a classic. Let's see. Yes. Megan.
No, okay.
Yeah, you did pretty well. Go ahead. Go ahead, guys. I'll
is
pop in.
Flatland like an analogy to get people to think of where 3D is opposed to 2D, as is opposed to 4D,
Mm-hmm.
to get people thinking about not what's further down, but what's further up. Is that the
Yep.
point? Okay.
Yep. It's Romance of Many Dimensions, a satirical novel by a schoolmaster. Okay, so this is a teaching tool. Flat Stanley is a teaching tool. Flatland, before that, in 1884, was used as a teaching tool.
So, all the flat Earth thing. So maybe the flat Earth idea, because I don't buy flat Earth. As a thing.
For the
don't
record,
agree.
all of us, I don't think, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I don't, Gordon says that. I don't know, but I'm not going to be like, it seems like a psyop but that's neither here nor there, but go ahead. Let's make the connections. I'm sorry.
We're
Right, I
reading
still
the
entertain it,
literature.
but
Yeah.
We are
Right.
reading
Okay, so-
the literature of the time. And in 1884, you get a book called Flatland, A Romance of Many Dimensions. And of course, it's published in London. And it
Royal
talks about this
Society.
hierarchy. Okay, it talks about the hierarchy of Victorian culture. So there's a critique of culture and hierarchy. Know your place.
Yeah, exactly.
Know your caste
Yep.
systems.
There you go.
Right. But the novella's more enduring contribution is its examination of dimensions. 2 dimensions. What is 1 dimension? A point. What is 2 dimensions? A line. What is 3 dimensions? X, Y, Z axis. So somebody who is a 1-dimensional person is a point of consciousness. When a person with 1-dimensional consciousness meets someone who's in 2-dimensional consciousness, they can only see it from one side. The person who's looking at a person with 1-dimensional consciousness only sees the dot, and it can only be a dot. It can only be a point. So then a person with 3-dimensional consciousness, a fat blob, a man of renown, a greedy Wario rolls by.
I loved it. A man of renown.
A round man of renown.
Yep.
The sound of the renowned man and his decree to say, I am 3-dimensional, and he's round. And you can see him from 3 dimensions because he's a sphere. Do we live on a sphere?
I love
we
it.
live on a oblong, spheroid, pear-shaped?
Exactly.
I don't know.
CM 5891, no way the Earth is a globe. Not saying it's flat, but the NASA thing is also very much a psyop, and I tend to agree with that wholeheartedly. And I think it's like another tell when you hear, like the late night talk show hosts when they have the mouthpieces jerk offs like Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye on that. They're like, so flat Earth, da 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 da. And yeah, they'll be, so what do you think about that? Well, so is it flat or is it round? What is it? And like both. And that seems to resonate with me. You know what I mean? Like you're not nobody's really wrong here in this argument. I mean, I don't know. That just resonates with me.
My point about flat Earth has always been it doesn't fucking matter. It's not ever
It
going
matters
to matter.
when YouTube applies a little text box under your video before you even go live because you chose a title.
Yeah. Like a song title.
Of your book matters. The title of your TED Talk matters.
Yeah.
Okay.
But still, the funny thing is,
so I get it. Questioning the science, you can't question the science. Is that
it's an agenda,
right?
The theme is tonight. We're a book club. We're a homeschool group. We're sitting alone. We're learning from home. We are considering doing a Flat Stanley project amongst members. Maybe, you'll exchange your address and we'll send our Flat Stanley to the people that are listening, and they can take their Flat Stanley, and send it back to us and tell us about their town, about their Kensington runestone, about their Viking museum, about the local legends and myths, and maybe there's a Paul Bunyan statue somewhere.
So
maybe there's something interesting.
Are you saying we should do this to get more connected with people so that we get intel back, or what's the point?
The point of the Flat Stanley project for students is it's a geography lesson. It's a literacy lesson because they're reading the book. So it's a multidisciplinary study. It's a comprehensive lesson plan.
And involving anybody that wants to get involved, to help shed some light on just some of the fucking afoot.
Sorry, I talked over Jim a second ago.
Yeah, Jim, where's your face? Are you not able to get your camera working, or there you are?
I don't remember what I was saying. I was just talking about flat Earth, I guess. What the scary thing about it is the lie. That's the whole thing that's upsetting. Flat or round, we're being told that it's a globe, and
don't question that, right?
Question that.
Yeah, which anytime we question a narrative and get pushback in such a manner, there's friggin' in the riggin'. I've learned that much.
We are an educational cooperative homeschool group right now.
Yeah,
because public school restrooms are nasty. We're gonna stay home. We'll use our own restrooms. We'll keep our own hygiene habits to ourselves. Whatever we want to do, that's fine, because we're in the privacy of our own home, privately discussing literature.
And they use it as a metric to compare all bad ideas to. Like, what are you, a flat Earth society, folk?
Yeah, it's a
why is it so canonized about that being a wrong thing? Why is it like one of the most important things that you learn as a little kid is that the Earth?
Well,
it's
to
the
bring
construct.
It back around.
The construct. I mean, it's
Barsky, share your screen. Go to walkwithamal.org/education, because this Amal.
Wait, slow down. Walk with what?
AMAL.org.
All right.
/education.
Okay.
Because there's an education program tied into this. From July to November 2021, a giant puppet of a 9-year-old siren symbolism, sound the siren, Syrian, SYRIN. Now we're getting serious with this topic of a 9-year-old Syrian refugee girl called Little Amal. It's the diminutive.
Did you say it was
Amal.
education? Was / education, or what was it again? I'm sorry. I've got it up, but
it's that page right there. I'll just
I got it.
Tweet it.
I'll share it. I got it.
Yeah, you see this page? Well, let's compare and contrast this education program with the Flat Stanley program. That was then. This is now. There's some parents. There's some homeschoolers in this group. There's some Christian Mennonites who want the best education.
Got it up here. I got it.
Right. So this is what we're looking at here. And Lindsay, she's a teacher. Maybe she can tell us what her opinion is about this curriculum. And education, it looks like a coloring book.
For those
There's an education pack to download. There's artwork that's been made for this.
For those listening, go ahead. I'm just going to read this brief synopsis real quick, Alan.
Check it out.
Okay, cool. So this is, again, this is Walk with Amal, amal.org/education. The Walk Education Program, and this is with 2 M's and an E, by the way. Okay, so from July to November 2021.
Programming.
There you go. From July to November 2021, a giant puppet of a 9-year-old Syrian refugee girl called Little Amal will walk from the Syria-Turkey border across Europe to the UK, traveling 8,000 kilometers to focus awareness on the refugee crisis. Before, during, and after her journey, Little Amal will connect people from refugee and non-refugee communities through creative learning projects to help forge lasting bonds of friendship. The Walk's education program will be developed by, with, and for each community, responding to local realities with a focus on bringing people together through projects that transcend borders, culture, and language. You know, we're all global citizens, right, guys? Working with all age groups, we aspire to build a program of workshops, performances, and apprenticeships that celebrates migration and has the potential to empower what might otherwise be a lost generation of refugee children. And that's basically, and then, do I need to go much further?
Yeah, just scroll down. Let's look at this bicycle.
So I have been seeing a lot of migration symbolism too. A lot of migration symbology. I can't remember what it is. There was somebody in Lindsay's chat in Rogue, and we were talking about some sort of, I wish I had it, some sort of migration to Mars thing. Like this was way before the SNL thing, like last week.
Oh yeah, it's been going on for a long time.
So the theme of migration or colonization or decolonization, it's okay to colonize Mars, but it's not okay to colonize the women's restroom when you're the male football team.
Right.
You don't colonize a female space. And then you're probably wondering, well, why is this guy earlier? Why is he talking about? I was going to say Anne Rice. We're not talking vampire Lestat Anne Rice. We're talking not Anne Rand.
Sorry.
The Diary of
Anne Frank.
Anne Frank.
Frank.
How do you pronounce that?
Anne Frank.
So if the education program includes the highly suggested reading of the Diary of Anne Frank about a Holocaust survivor, a little girl who writes her diary, and I don't know if you guys read the part that included her feminine hygiene aspects that she experiences for the first time while in an attic, hiding with her family.
She gets her period. So that's what you're saying.
This is what she's writing about.
This
is what we are studying in American public schools in like 7th grade.
Yeah, like I said, wasn't for some reason. Go ahead.
So that's kind of that's the connection of an education, of a programming talking about the Diary of Anne Frank. You know, we read Flat Stanley, we read the novel, we send the Flat Stanleys. And then in 7th grade, we read the Diary of Anne Frank, and we imagine what it would be like to be Anne Frank. So we do role-playing exercises, we write letters, we write our own diary entries, pretending that we are in a confined space, remaining quiet, hiding out, and trying to survive. That's in our education program. But now today, here's the new thing. It's Amal. It's all about Amal. Will this stick? Will we forget about this? Will this become a new cultural standard of education? Will they do a walk a couple times every few years? That's what I'm asking. That's the open question. And that's how we come full circle back to this talk of a giant puppet, a Syrian. Why is she a Syrian? Why is she a siren? We've talked about siren symbolism before. Have we unpacked that a little bit?
Let's do it.
Knowles has done tons of stuff on the sirens and the mermaids. And
yeah, Knowles has, yeah.
Knowles is killing it on that stuff, but I don't know I don't know where it's headed with that. Now the giant symbolism I can get behind, because that definitely comes up cyclically. We were talking about the Colossus of Rhodes,
right. But she's not a Turkish delight. She's a Syrian. Okay. Now let's be polite. She's not a Turkish delight. She's a 9-year-old girl. And for this reason, we will be polite and sensitive to not hurt her feelings or the feelings of her two fathers.
Just disrespecting children in general. I mean,
borders.
We can make fun.
Backwards, her name is Lama.
Yeah.
Lama.
So is she from Peru?
Lama.
Lama.
I love it. I love your brain.
Lama's is the type of breathing you do when you're pregnant, right? You're trying to give birth and you do the heavy Lama breathing.
But that's more along the lines that's spelled with an N. It's like a Pontiac Le Mans, right? Is this, or am I just wrong? I have one spelling bees, and I could pull the trophies out if you want to. If you want to have a pissing contest, Alan, with trophies.
No, I don't use dirty words like that. I don't use impolite text.
I do. I'm really comfortable with using dirty words. Which one do you want? I'll say them for you.
Are there more than 7 dirty words, or is the list now one dirty word? Is there one unspeakable dirty word?
We know the word. Now? We know the word.
Yes,
here on this platform, we know the word.
Who's the hero? Who's going to say the word? What's the word that we...
God, I can't wait to get my vaccine. Go ahead, guys. I can't wait. I picked Pfizer. Anyway, for the win.
I was thinking like maybe there's 4 letters in the word. I don't know how you got to that conclusion.
Oh, fuck.
No, it's cunt, right? It's cunt.
I prefer twunt because then you get questions.
Gordon understands that this is what is the name of this talk today?
Twunts.
What is the name of our feminine napkin reading? What is it?
Feminine napkin reading wave. Feminine. Jeez. Feminine
so you
napkin reading room bathroom.
Hold
Don't
your
stall.
napkin. Put your napkin on your lap. Sit tall. Posture. Arms back. Polite and proper. Victorian English. Puritan work ethic in our study room. We are diligently studying the Word of God and the Word of Anne Frank and the Word of Flat Stanley. Okay, so we have a couple of approved books. And did you want to go to Mount Analog? Are we going to climb Mount Analog tonight?
Are we going to? Can we just if you? I guess my brain always tries to jump to the end, like the conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how I get in trouble with details. But these kind of things, like the flat Earth debate, is only an exercise to get us thinking about bigger pictures, about bigger things. And I don't honestly, this is why I'm so bored with politics and anything anybody has to say about political bullshit, that it's so surface level carnal garbage that if you're debating it and thinking about it, you're in that system. You're putting yourself back in that system that I think you're going for, that they're trying to program into good little soldiers who are just going to go along with the program. If anything good comes out of the flat Earth debate, is that we're not what we're being told, and that if you follow it, everything is a lie. Everything you're being told is a lie. So if you're going on that level, that because we're being told all the time that we don't have a soul.
Exactly.
You do have a soul. That
You're
is
damn
what
right.
you are.
You
are
don't
a
stall.
soul.
You get right to the point.
No.
And I want to say something. I want to chime in. I want to add to this, Gordon. Guys, I want to add something. The only thing that the James, that he who shall not, his last name will not be named, is spot on about with this
We're
sort of
seeing
thing
ourselves here.
is flat Earth is a karate or kung fu stance against, you know, it's not like you adopt it and you know, just follow it wholeheartedly. It's a defense mechanism.
Marcy, are you putting chat on the screen? Putting the live chat on the screen?
I'm sorry, what?
You're sharing the screen.
Oh, whoops. I'm sorry.
We're looking at ourselves.
Yeah, whoops. Sorry about that, guys.
It's all right.
Done. All right, but yeah,
I didn't want you to scroll down because I saw some associated videos with the feminine napkin products, and the advertisements on this are going to make you a boatload of cash.
There you go. Oh yeah,
product.
yeah. Okay. Whoa,
okay.
Whoa.
So here's my trick. I make sure I mention feminine napkins, feminine products, pregnancy, baby diapers to any device that listens. And when I watch Hulu videos, all the advertisements I see are
so
beautiful women wearing bras and, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
so my profile.
So you're still sexually repressed from all the DC talk. So I love you. I had to. You set yourself up, buddy.
Stop right there. Stop right there. Rebecca St. James sings a song. It's called Wait for Me. This is about sexual purity. It's about saving yourself for marriage.
Damn right, baby.
It is the most beautiful song. You'll probably cry. Keep your napkin tissues ready. You will marry a white virginal bride. Okay. She's the bride of Christ. The marriage of man and woman represents the union. Christ, the church.
Do you want a testimony right now from me or no?
Testify.
I will testify. #tabernacle. Seriously though, I remember lying. I was dating the pastor's daughter. I'm not going to name the church, but it was like a big church, right? Like a big Assembly of God church at that. So
of course.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, so she was crazy, is what you're saying.
Oh, well, it was so false to begin with. It was so false to begin with. You know what I mean? It was just like, well, whatever. Like, whatever. That's besides the point. But I remember I had to get like a promise ring essentially, and like. I remember fighting so hard to be like, are you kidding me? Like, you guys are really going to have me do this at like age 13, literally walk up on stage in front of like, I don't know how many, like 1,000, 2,000, I don't know how many congregations. The sanctuary held literally like 3,000 people, 2,500 people. Like, it was insane. And I remember having to get up in front of all of them with other people that had finished the class. It was
graduated
sixth grade. It was sixth grade. Yeah, it was sixth grade because I went to that school attached to the church, and we had to get up and do that. And I remember I refused to. There was something I got in. I remember like going, "This is stupid." I was up there like actually, I have like a few still shots in my mind yet of it, and me going like shaking my head, going, "This is so stupid. This is so stupid." Like my mom is standing there, you just do it. Like just do it. I remember there being that moment of like tension and like whatever people are like, it's like, you know, people are looking right now. It was one of those things. I'm just like, I don't give a shit. This is retarded. And then I ended up just like, and everybody had promise rings, and I was like, I'm not wearing a stupid ring either for this. And like I remember having like some dumb necklace that I insisted was the only thing that I was going to use, and it had. I don't remember what the necklace was, but I remember I let her put it on. Like, why would you have like a family member? Like that's weird. Ugh. This was just weird.
It is a ritual. You're on stage. You're in front of a congregation, a crowd. It's a public ritual.
Yeah.
Was it a humiliation ritual?
Absolutely. And I know
The
from my
shame ritual. You were ashamed.
I wasn't ashamed. I was ashamed. I was ashamed that I was doing that.
You were shamed if you broke the
Oh,
covenant.
of course, the covenant. But
promise you made on
covenant-
the stage in front of the community of your tribe.
yeah, that was all frauds that I saw was like complaining, like, how did you guys build this multi-million-dollar church? How many times? Like, they asked me to stop coming to church because I kept nudging them, being like, this is the 7th time they passed the plate around.
David Barsky, stop coming in our church. We've had enough. You're wearing a ring. You made a promise. Okay, save your seed. Save your seed. Save your soul. I am celibate for the hell of it. I testify before you.
Yes, David Barsky, stop getting the hand
I'm
jobs
much more
behind the
today.
baptism.
I'm much more today in line with the whole, like, yeah, dude, I'm not just sleeping around anymore because I'm gonna be 40 in a couple weeks too. At the same time, it's like, I'm not trying to just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't about that at all anymore. I don't know. Like, you know what? Like, it's not about, oh yeah, let me go get some action. I need action.
You're a 12-year-old on stage.
No, I'm
swearing in your ritual when you're on
in
stage.
the ritual, yeah.
And your mom's
okay,
like, just do it. You're gonna make me proud. You're gonna make your mother proud by telling your mother in front of everybody and all of her friends in the church that you are.
I probably had already lost my virginity. No,
you are saving your purity, however you define that, right? Were there girls?
No,
on
it was
stage too?
like no sex before marriage. It wasn't just purity. Obviously that's implied, but it was literally like, you're not gonna have sex.
There's a lot of implications in a purity program and a purity
sure.
pledge. Right, this is what it is.
Trying to think of the name, the kitschy name that they had for it, and it'll come to me. So.
Sure. I mean, that's the level of sex education in a church. And what do they tell you? They'll tell you that the M word, it's a dirty word. We don't say the M word, but you guys know what it is. It might be mastodon. It might sound like mastodon, but we don't say it in church. We call it the M word,
right?
And we know everybody struggles with it,
especially with pornography.
We don't
they really
it.
struggle with pornography. It seems
we don't say it.
Don't get that.
Certainly.
That doesn't exist.
Right.
Certainly.
It's whatever all the extremely psycho Q far right morons mistake Aleister Crowley. They go, oh wait, didn't he murder a bunch of children and rape a bunch of kids? Like, okay, do you know how to read?
But that's the siren call. The siren is the female temptress.
I understand.
She hangs out on the rocks. You stay on the shore. Don't swim to the siren on the rocks. You'll crash your ship. Your ship is
right
your bodily
jetty,
vessel, and you will sail, smooth sailing. Jesus will put the wind in your sails, and you'll go. Perfect, straight line, where you want to go.
No ships crashing in the night either.
But if you listen to the siren, her name might be Rebecca St. James. She might be saying, "Wait for me." She has this beautiful voice. She's got this accent. She's like from New Zealand. She's like a New Zealand singer, so she has this sort of affectation in her voice that just makes her real exotic. But
like
yet she's still
Sandoval,
white.
hot.
She's still a white woman. So it's great that we can listen to her. See what I'm saying?
Fiona Apple. If it was Fiona Apple,
she's not PJ Harvey.
I love my Polly Jean.
Yeah.
So is this a difference between the single finned siren mermaid and the double fin siren mermaid? Is that the only
you are rabbit holing
the
Gordon, I see it in my mind, and I have to.
You know where I'm going?
Tell my accountability partner that I'm thinking about the woman who spreads her tail fins.
Yeah,
and
so
I can't.
Can you actually get it?
So there's a mermaid. There's a mermaid who keeps her tail fins together. And then there's the siren who says, "I'm the whore of Starbucks."
Right.
She's the Melusine. She sins. Melusine. The Melusiner. This woman, this whore who spreads her tail fins.
What a twin.
Lets her fishy bits flap in the wind.
In a single fin.
Bare chested. On our Starbucks coffee.
The audacity.
Come on. Here's your bare-chested winged harpy.
Dude, I'm
So-
gonna have to go M if you
so
don't
wait,
slow down.
so
Bro.
the dual fin mermaid is the harlot, obviously, right? So is the single fin siren just the one that gives you a hand job behind the baptism?
Yes.
Because
We gotta filth this
can't
up
get in there?
because
This is dirty bathroom talk. This is not the type of
this is
education I ever
exactly.
expected.
I'm sorry.
the single
we are
fin
in.
is a Catholic girl.
We are.
She doesn't take it, but she'll swallow it.
Dude, we're in the feminine napkin reading room,
I am
bathroom stall. So,
I'm gonna catch so much heat for this. Oh,
no,
this
you're
is
not.
fucking fantastic.
You're not. We're not talking
this
about
is the
masks.
good kind of heat.
We're not talking about. Yeah. All right. Good.
Because this is what I'd rather be talking about rather than what I think about.
Right.
After
Oh man, this is.
I don't
all the
know.
text that I've gotten.
This is
week.
degraded, but I love it. Okay, so I'm looking
I
in the
don't know.
chat.
I don't know. Are we as funny or funnier than Elon Musk on Saturday Night Live?
I don't know. I don't know if you can get any funnier than Elon Musk on.
Seriously,
Robot
man,
Man
what
on-
was that? Like again, like looking at it, like
We teased it earlier.
I have Asperger's.
teased it
So stop
earlier.
hating me because I'm a billionaire because I have Asperger's. Like that was such a.
Barsky told me yesterday or Monday about the Pearl Gang Bang
The Pearl River
on
Gang.
Saturday.
Oh yes.
Pearl River Gang.
Talk about this.
Y'all know you love my
The
Darwin
Pearl
Scarface shirt there.
River Gang, Elon Musk, and Barsky's describing this fever dream to me, and I'm like, so Elon Musk is a miner. He's like a Bitcoin miner. He's like a Dogecoin miner. He's like boring holes into the ground to mine to get things. And Barsky's like, no, it's like a bandana. So they have bandanas and like, they're like bandits. Okay. They're a gang. They're like gang bangers. And the dialogue is something about how this gang is coming for us.
CUMM.
This gang is coming for us. And what are we going to do about it? And there's this Pearl River gang. There's this guy named Earl who had his pee cut off. Pearl, cut the pee off, and you get Earl. So you have this pussy man who's just afraid of everything. He's afraid of the Pearl River gangbang. The bandits who are going to shoot him up.
Yes.
This is just the SNL sketch that I saw after the first show we did together. I hadn't seen it yet. I didn't know this existed. Had I seen this prior to the first show, that would have been the entire show. Forget Wario. All the action is in this climactic battle scene between the Pearl gang and this other gang. And they're cowboys. So they're in a saloon and there's a prostitute. There's a PJ Harvey style French Victorian.
Watch it.
Easygoing. What is it? The speakeasy?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like in French Quarter, like in Louisiana French Quarter.
It's
PJ Harvey has her song where she plays somebody in that sort of bustier, and she sort of plays it in a hotel room where she's like a cowboy, and she's singing a song about Joe or something. Have you seen that one? The PJ Harvey video?
Do you know how old it is? Because I stopped. It's been a while. It's rid of me dry. I stopped at like stories from the city, stories from the sea.
Right.
To Bring You My Love is one of my favorites too. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right. You've made an open invitation to a certain synchromystic who we've highly applauded and thanked. And we just said, all of this symbolism that we have talked about, it really goes back to this one person. And you'll probably want to ask him some of these questions. So we'll keep that for that chat. But this Pearl River thing with Elon Musk, who shows up as an Aspergery nerd, and he says, Pearl River, that's an anagram for prevail.
Prevail.
Pre, before, veil. I'm blind. I'm wearing the veil, right?
Yep.
It's an anagram. That one line was the bat signal in the sky to secret sunners, synchromystics, overthinkers, rabbit holers, and everybody who's tweeting about Elon Musk, Siren, Syrian, Pearl, Melusine,
There you go.
Mermaid, Starbuck.
Well, you just nailed it. This is
So
all
when-
distraction. This is all distraction to get us down a hole where they're doing something else. That's what all this stuff is. It always
So
is.
when Elon Musk goes on Saturday Night Live to say, wink, nod, nudge, nudge, I'm in on the joke, it's a response back to 3 or 4 years of blog posts, synchromystic blogs, tweets, discussions. And now today, we go to walkwithamal.org, the orgy of the education program, me, with a Syrian refugee from Syria. Why does she have to be from Syria?
Because that's where all the conflict always starts. That's where it's
But
starting
couldn't she,
now.
couldn't,
That's what the
but
last one
couldn't she,
started.
couldn't she be a Turkish delight? Why did it have to start in Syria? It's the siren signaling, right? Are we reading too much into it?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, probably. That's what I'm
We
thinking too.
absolutely
Yeah.
probably are. So
Which
thanks for
see-
listening to us. We probably
See ya.
overstayed our welcome.
Oh, that's what we do.
I think we just
Yeah, we do.
there's no punchline to this joke. This is reality. We were gonna climb Mount Analog and talk about Dumal and Plus Ultra, and there's more beyond, but there's nothing more beyond the walk education program and a puppet. 9-year-old Syrian refugee girl, and they're walking across water to go to Italy to end in Liverpool.
I'm still trying to piece. We got to talk to Daz about this. We'll
There's
have to.
definitely things in them.
This just doesn't Liverpool though. Again,
It's a real head scratcher.
it's a real head scratch. Like we can't. What?
It's a real head scratcher. And this isn't the only puppet show that has gone to Liverpool.
Right, because we have. Go ahead, tell him.
Because we talked yesterday about a different company with a core cult guy, that Jean,
Yeah.
What was it?
Very close to
Say it.
Cool.
Cocteau.
The French guy who, maybe is, who's maybe Jean Cocteau and Elton John Cocteau in one man, putting on a puppet show in Liverpool, which he describes as like the Milky Way. So we have star symbolism, Milky Way, as above, so below, and it's all centered around Liverpool. You have Finn McCool, who was written about by James Joyce. What did James Joyce write? Why was he writing about a day in Liverpool?
This is wild. Holy shit, dude. This is wild.
That a book called Ulysses?
Yep.
Am I correct about that? Was it a day in Liverpool?
I know, Megan. I know you know what's up. Literary.
Yeah, where did
Nerds.
Ulysses take place?
I'm not gonna Google it. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and be like, oh, I know, and then Google it. So I don't.
I'll Google it. I'll Google it.
Or DuckDuckGo.
Somebody know James Joyce, Liverpool. I don't know, like Finn McCool. Where does Ulysses take place?
Finn McCool was the giant in Ireland.
Precisely.
Oh, Ulysses is Dublin. Let's get it right. Dublin is Ireland.
Okay. Yeah.
What is the connection between Dublin and Ireland? I don't know.
Yeah, there's none there. I don't see.
We're looking for it. We admit if our memory is not enhanced by Neuralink, and we are fallible humans, and we are not employable because, for many reasons, probably everything we just discussed in the last hour. Terrible employees, terrible human beings. And I'm still waiting for one of you to apologize first. I don't want to be the first to apologize. I want to be the last to apologize.
I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
I'm not.
Is that sincere enough? Is it as sincere as DC talk? I'm sorry.
Do you realize you're never going to be able to live this down, Alan? I don't think you really care, do you? You actually find this quite amusing.
It gets worse because I would get into arguments with this kid named Leaf. He was a redheaded stepchild. No, he was a redheaded kid. He had a brother, Leaf and Bjorn. And Bjorn had a CD player, brought it to our elementary school. Leaf borrowed it, and he would play DC Talk songs to me. And I would say, I'm sorry, I don't listen to DC Talk because there's an Italian man who's a far better entertainer. You know who his name is?
Oh, yeah.
You know who his name is?
Do you need me to say it?
Can he drive your car?
He's the C
man.
Paul McCartney.
Carmen.
No.
His name is Carmen. His name was Carmen.
C-A-R-M-A-N.
Yes, I know.
Not the feminine.
Not San Diego.
C-A-R-M-E-N.
I know, not Carmen San Diego. I know you're talking about.
Why? So Carmen San Diego wears her red jacket. Why is she wearing a red jacket? Like Little Red Riding Hood.
Hey, listen, Megan, Ulysses was only published in America because one judge challenged the ban. Which is interesting. It's fascinating. And deputized.
So all of our dirty talk, if we were to publish it in book, like Ulysses was a banned book. It was filthy. It was filthy talk. James Joyce wrote filthy, pornographic literature. We are
right up my alley.
A reading room, and we read proper literature. Proper, approved literature. We read Flat Stanley to our children. But Ulysses, it's filth. There's also a poem called Ulysses by Lord Alfred Tennyson. So there's also a character in Greek, Odysseus, the Odyssey, Super Mario Odyssey, 2001, A Space Odyssey. Odyssey.
My God, it's full of stars. That's
incredible.
There's a lot of dead air. Sorry.
It's mental margin, space between thoughts. Just we don't want to get spaced out here. We want to focus on this education plan because we are learning so much through our homeschool program.
The space. I like the spaces. I like the spaces better than the points. God is in the spaces.
Exactly.
Right.
God is not in the points.
No.
God is in the.
This is God. The conversing is God.
Yes.
Yeah. We've talked. Yeah. I feel like we've
talked about this, but maybe you and I have, Barsky, but the spaces between the notes is where the music is.
Precisely.
It's not the notes. It's the spaces between them. It's the spaces between you and I and me, Barsky, Jim, Alan, everybody in the chats. The spaces between us is where God is. God is what we are creating.
Mm-hmm.
Between the spaces, the connections with each other. That's where God is. It's not out there. And it's not in the church. That's bullshit.
It's here.
God is here.
Yeah.
God is us. We are the I am the lowercase God. We are the uppercase God.
There is one God. His name is El. His current incarnation, Elon Musk. And he will take us to Mars. If you believe it.
Yeah.
Space,
you know what?
if you believe it,
great.
SpaceX will achieve it. They will take you off of Earth to Mars, off of this flat land. That's the three-dimensionality of it. We walk with gravity on 2 dimensions. To get to the 3rd dimension, to escape the plane, to escape gravity, we have to get our jet fuel propulsion, blast off,
hoping you'd get there
and go to the 3rd dimension.
Is to get, because they're building up Elon as a Messiah character. I
had a question today. Somebody asked me, do I think that Elon Musk is Antichrist, the Antichrist, whatever that means? Is it Jared Kushner, or is it Elon Musk, or is it Goldfinger? No, it's Dr. No. No, the guy who just came out with that funny looking costume. 4th Industrial Revolution.
Klaus. Our boy from the World Economic Forum.
Klaus Schwab. And you know what they do to test you for a beer bug? There's a Schwab, and it goes up your nose, or they take a sample with a swab, like a Schwab. So
like
Klaus will Schwab you now. Well, Schwab you now.
Yeah, that guy just.
There's just a few keywords that we keep repeating over and over again. This is the pattern recognition that we're undergoing.
New Schwabenland.
Ooh, there you go.
What is going on?
Brad Olson and a few others too are attempting they have a new plan when they go back to Antarctica. They're going to take a different route and actually go off the south of Africa to get there and go straight into, which is New Maudland, I believe it's called, or something along those lines, which is New Schwabenland technically, to see what they can see over there, because they ended up getting a bit more access than they expected. So hopefully, but since the beer bug thing transpired, they weren't able to get it done this year, but it looks like they're going to be able to get it done in the next 6 to 12 months, hopefully. So that'll be interesting to find out what he finds, or what they find as a crew. I'll be fascinated to hear about it, because I'm so sick of hearing what's his name, Michael Sala's parroting of Corey Good's garbage and all those frauds, forehead cocks. Won't even go there.
There's like a black hole down there.
Mm-hmm. Is that the hill you'll die on? Is that the hill you'll die on, that specific argument?
There's a black hole?
Yeah.
They signaled it. You guys saw the Hollow Earth thing in Godzilla versus King Kong, right?
Right.
Is that the new one?
Again.
The new one?
Yeah, that's the new one.
I didn't see it yet.
It doesn't matter. It sucks. But they bring Kong to the Hollow Earth for some sort of energy source thing, for him to find it, which is
a giant monkey, which goes back to Nintendo Donkey Kong. Mario shows up as the guy to defeat Donkey Kong in the Donkey Kong video game. And Donkey Kong is King Kong, and King Kong is a giant genetically modified mutant ape that is extra large.
No, he's
King Koopa. Sorry,
he's from
King Kong.
King Kong. He's not genetically engineered or anything. He's a type.
He's not like Godzilla. Godzilla was like
Godzilla was changed in this
biotech is Godzilla, guys. Let's be realistic.
Biotech is Godzilla, yeah.
But Jello Biafra wouldn't know anything about that anymore.
Even better was that they brought in consciousness into. So they rebuilt Ghidorah. You know Ghidorah, the 3-headed
Yep.
Titan.
That's a band.
King
No,
Ghidorah. King Ghidorah taking
Go-
like
King
MF
Ghidorah.
Doom.
So-
Gojira is a band.
No,
right?
no,
Gojira is a band.
not Gojira. It's King Ghidorah. It's G-E-E.
I'm talking about books. You guys are talking about music, and
No, this is
I'm learning about
no,
music.
no,
I'm
we're
teaching
talking
you
about
about
the
books.
movies.
It's both.
We're talking about the movie.
It's the movie and MF Doom, the MC.
This is too multidimensional. This is multifractal. This is too complex thinking, guys. Keep it simple. There can only be one thing, right? There can only be one thing. And I'm asking you, what is the one hill? We've given you a buffet of beliefs. What one belief is the hill that you'll die on? The metaphor meaning that's the hill you'll defend. That's the belief you will defend. What is it?
Are you asking it? Are you asking
Yes.
that specific question?
Yeah, sure. Let's go there.
That we are souls and we are not this. That this doesn't matter. This is transitory. That's the hill I'll die on.
Right.
That this is temporary. It's going to go away pretty fucking soon.
Mhm.
I mean, if it's not, I mean, our lifetimes are that.
Right.
If
Yeah.
anybody has had any close calls with death, you know, and you're forced to consider that, to get intimate with your own mortality so that you can get comfortable with that, which is your own death, which is memento mori. Because this shit doesn't matter. The stuff we do and the things we think are important really aren't important. Like,
Gordon, are you saying that all the little deaths that we collect and put notches on our bedposts
to the big
aren't important? We need to focus on what we do before the big death.
The big death, right? Exactly.
And the big death is just the body death, which is not a final death of consciousness. Because consciousness is fundamental, exists before and after.
Yes, that's the constant. That's the infinite.
Right.
Is our soul.
Right. Yeah.
And the little death is an orgasm. Little death,
which creates
orgasm.
life,
And the
which
big death,
may, as a byproduct, create a new life.
New life, extended life. It's a different.
Well,
so if
when
we're talking
a
about
man
the
loves a
big death,
woman and there's a honeymoon and they're both wearing rings and in the missionary position,
no,
that's how a baby's made.
That doesn't matter.
Right.
None of that stuff matters.
You're saying the honeymoon experience doesn't matter?
The honeymoon is over.
We don't know your sarcasm yet either well enough, I don't think. Because I'm having a tough time reading it as well.
So there's a great.
Are you playing me?
I can't tell either.
Alan,
there's a great band called Love and Death. He was a founding member of the band Korn with a K. Now he is in a band called Love and Death, and he has a great song about this exact topic.
You're just gonna keep. So your job here is to take us back to terrible music over and over again, and Barsky and I are just trying to keep us on track to something decent. Where my first CD I ever bought was Fugazi, 13 songs.
13 songs. I'm sitting in the waiting room myself, bro. And my bulldog front is wearing thin.
We don't say Fugazi in this house.
Oh, no son of mine. Don't you ever say rock and roll. Don't ever say rock and roll under my roof.
No Aphenheimers in this Oppenheimer. We don't drop those bombs.
Oof.
No.
It's deep. I am death. I'm become death.
Well,
yeah.
So have you guys heard the new Love and Death album? There's a great Justin Bieber cover.
Is it the one where he's eating babies at that?
Brian Head Welch recovered from a drug addiction.
Don't care.
He sings a song about chemicals. He goes on TBN and he talks about his recovery.
He did, of course.
He has a new band called Love and Death.
Tool.
His new band, Love and Death, has released a new album. Their first album, From Here to Lost or something. They covered a
that guy
Devo
is
song.
so full of shit, man.
Their newest album, they cover a Justin Bieber Justin Bieber,
Okay, we're gonna
and
have
Justin
to-
and Bieber track.
Hang on. Dude,
No
that
more.
guy is the most. Okay, here's the problem with Christianity.
We don't need to talk about. We
No,
don't need
you
to talk
did.
about
You
Love and
did.
Death.
You did
brought
it.
it.
You brought
You
it
brought
up.
it.
So
You
now
brought it
you're
there.
you're getting
You
the
got-
heat
we're
now.
gonna go
Alan.
there.
Now I have- now I have
you're
to
getting to
eat
get
it.
wrecked.
Now
So-
I have to eat
I'm gonna
it.
mute you, and you're gonna just get wrecked.
I get that drug addiction and all these guys think they can't rely on themselves, so they have to find Jesus, and they have to get so uber born again that they just go way overboard, that they just
Tripping for
create
God.
this tripping for God, and they got to share their testimony over and over and
It's
over.
like when we
again
first
until-
discovered conspiracy stuff, and we're like, "Dude, don't you get
Right.
it?" That
Right?
yeah.
We got to wake people up. It doesn't matter, man. You're the one that's got to save yourself. Brian Head didn't get off drugs because of Jesus. He got off of drugs because his will made that happen, because he believed in Jesus. It's the problem I have with all of Nashville, all of the Bible Belt giant churches, mega churches, and every born again Christian. They think they're being deep, and they're really not, because they're not examining themselves. There's no self-criticism in there almost ever, because it's always focused on the other, the Christ, the thing that's going to save them, and it's never them. They've got to give it to somebody else.
Is it Elon
When
Musk
in
who saved us
reality-
when we go to space?
Yeah.
How did
right.
you unmute yourself? No,
Is there
I love you,
is
man.
there an external server?
See, that's the thing. You are the
I mean,
Messiah.
that's the deep topic. That's what we're getting at.
This is the point.
It's like we
is-
have belief systems, and we either choose them. Some of them are chosen for us and are given to us, and we accept them. And in Barsky's case, having to go to a church, stand in front of a congregation to go through the ritual of purity pledges.
Why? No.
Is the intention a pure intention of
Now,
the parent
purity-
to say, I want to raise my child well?
The purity thing is real. To get to your center, you do have to purify yourself. Abso-freaking-lutely. You've got to look inside yourself and do that shadow work to burn out all the bullshit and your own hypocrisies, and investigate your own bullshit to even get to another level, to find out there's so many other levels. Christianity, the whole Christ consciousness thing, is only surface level. It's right here. There's an infinity. There's an infinite beyond that humanity just can't get their brain around. They've got to look at something else. They've got to have something outside of themselves to look at, where it's always right here. It's always been right here, because the infinite is in you, because you
So
are
it's about the
an infinite
inner
soul.
verse,
Yes,
and we're
thank you,
trying to
Chance.
we're trying to escape to an outer space, to a universe.
But the universe
and
is
yet-
here.
We're running from our from our self.
Right.
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Just like, is it Rumi that says that it's not the grain of sand in a beat in the ocean, or the ocean in a grain of sand, or whatever that analogy is, that all of us are fractals. Everything,
Right.
everything you find
So
out
we're
the
back to
truth,
fractal thinking again. We're thinking
So-
multidimensional thoughts.
it's always multidimensional. There's an infinite amount of dimensions.
Are you saying
And
the
we're-
gospel message in the American church today is a two-dimensional message for a two-dimensional person?
Yes, for a two-dimensional world. Right, exactly. For people that can't think of themselves as infinite. You are the infinite. I am the infinite.
Sure.
We are
So then the
infinite
next question
beings
is,
that
do we
don't
become
that
5D people? Do we go to the fifth dimensional? Do we ascend? Is that our solution?
nah, skip it. Skip 5.
Jim, are you fifth dimensional
Go to
person?
infinite.
Yes.
I thought so.
I love that Jim is just precise.
The humble answer.
Yes.
Yes. No explanation needed.
Thank you, Jim.
We can see it. He looks healthy. He's got a full beard. Living with plants. He's living in nature. Got the nature. Got the nurture. He's living right. Got the hygiene. He's got a clean bathroom. No toilet tissue stuck to his foot. Nothing off about this guy. He's got it together.
Pretty godly, if you ask me.
I have my moments.
Your
epiphanies.
Deity like.
Jim has.
You're a creator, man. You're a creator. Look at that art, man.
With toilet paper, a shoe too. But
you want to show us your napkin doodles?
You always have to learn and look inward and always strive to be better, or else what's the point? And it's hard. And the hardest thing is looking at yourself, because to protect yourself, you don't really see the truth. I mean, it's really hard to really see yourself, honestly, because it's painful.
Very painful.
Yeah.
It's right.
And that's what makes Christianity the perfect foil, because you don't have to look at yourself. You could just look at Jesus. Just look to Jesus every time, Jim. Jim, did you pray to Jesus today and ask him forgiveness for your sins? Because apparently it's his fault.
So if we are rejecting this state religion and we don't want this to be a theocracy, are we going to have a new state religion? Are we going to return to worship of the old gods?
Yes, the Titans.
Is Baphomet a new old god? Right, because you have these Baphomet statues going up all around. Where's Jerk? Where's Brain Damage?
Brainstorms.
What's his name?
Brian.
Who's that guy?
Brian.
Where is that Jerk? Where's that guy? Do we have any callers? Do we have any callers?
No, not yet. I've got everything ready to go. Remember the phone number.
Lines are open.
Lines are open. 262-706-5936. Again,
share your testimony. This is Dawson McAllister Live.
262.
You guys remember Dawson?
06 5936. And if you guys noticed, I made sure there was 3 6s in the number completely, and
Gordon
a 93 in there as well.
If you are McAllister and you're home alone, listen to Dawson McAllister Live on whatever Christian radio station plays it on Sunday night. K-Love, Air One, KTIS, all the Christian radio networks. Yeah, Dawson McAllister Live.
You know who we need to get in this is Snake Jones.
I tried. I think he's mad at me. I don't know what I did.
Because Balderson told me personally that it's Titans coming back. He believes that it's the Titans coming back.
Well, I'm going to call Balderson tomorrow then, and
give him a holler, man. I want to know what he says.
I wish we were at the level to where I could just be like, let's call him right now. On the we could do that.
Yeah, we have a lot of questions. We need some mentors. Yeah, totally.
You know what?
Are there any questions in chat?
You are your own mentor.
Mm-hmm.
Is anybody else monitoring the chat, or is it just me monitoring things right now? I think it's just me. It's okay.
I've been monitoring.
Let's see.
No dirty words in chat. Nobody's getting banned or kicked out for saying something bad.
Jessica Colorado says Celebrate Recovery was a good program.
Only compliments.
Jenny, of course, shout out to Wildcard Jerk. beauty hands.
Do we got some new Christian music recommendations from fans?
I will mute you. LOL from Emily to dude, I'm about to Sam Tripoli the F out of your name right now, but I'm not going to. Emily in the chat, LOL, perfect answer to quote, which dimension are you in? Yes. I think that's directed towards James or Jim. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And
we are in a non-Euclidean adventure tonight.
Not Chiquita. By implication, I don't have things together. Yeah, not many of us do. That's why we're doing this.
Is not Chiquita in
Terry saying,
Orweb
Chow says, I got banned. I could care less, but him getting cocked. I think it's spelled misspelling, whatever, about something. But let's see here.
Do we have loose ends? What are the loose ends that people are wanting us to explore further?
Let me see here. We've got, and then Nichikita again. I think it was William Blake. To quote, to see. I don't know if you saw that as well. To see infinity in a grain of sand. We just have some great quotes in here. And I don't know if Terry's the Order of Chow is defending you, Terry, Alan, but he said y'all chucking him off when I was mad and had to something is to NE is hilarious. I'm sure there's a bunch of auto errors there. So
we've learned that love and hate are two sides of the same Dogecoin.
Well, clearly, and like that's the one thing that so many people with that, idiotic, and I don't want to bring this up more than right now, and then hopefully we don't have to say his name again for a while. It's like, and the what it is with the Trump derangement syndrome thing, because it's legitimate, it's real. Like people got so psychotic about it that like all common sense out the window. It's like, don't you realize you're giving currency like by paying attention to him in general, and he's like the ultimate chaos magician that doesn't even know what the hell that means, right? That any attention whatsoever, it's just like a bully at school. It doesn't really matter what attention you give him, as long as you feed him any attention, bad, good, doesn't really matter. He spins it into power of some sort. He can spin it in, he basically can just alchemize, transmute it, if you will. It's a sick, it's gross, it's narcissistic, weird.
We're weaving a symbolic web, making connections between ideas, people, movies, music, all of these things. And if it comes up, we're going to mention it, say how it relates, and then move on. So it's not an intense focus on one thing.
Right. We're
a multi-dimensional fractal thinker. We are big brains.
We've been fractalized. That's the thing, though, and I think that was the point. And I think that's the point also of religion. I know Jason Horsley speaks on it, and in reading a few of his chapters, the early chapters of Prisoner of Infinity, he really goes into that, especially with Kripal and citing Strieber, and how the way to achieve a religious, quote unquote, religious experience or something of the sort, which you could also attribute to Whitley Strieber's experiences with UFOs and having that, religious experience. Yeah. With
that's the communion.
Right.
If you're a Catholic and you have your first communion and you take the body of Christ and the blood of Christ,
right.
Alien space brothers, they're our new Jesus. They'll save us.
But the thing is with that, the fun, what I love about how Jason breaks it down and doesn't accept much of it is with how how splintered we become and how it, over time, like we were talking about how media, the mind control is so strong, and that's just a broad, way to put it, basically. But I mean, let's be realistic here. It's like kill your TV, back in the day when they first came out, you know what I mean? When I feel like the hippie movement was pure before it was co-opted type thing. It was like, yeah, fuck that. I don't watch TV. What are you even talking about? Like, I don't even know about like the Amish. Like what's this beer bug you speak of? No, we don't have that. Why don't you have it? Because we don't watch TV.
Because we don't watch TV.
But anyway, the point is basically what Horsley posits is that, and others have, I'm sure, with it's super important. Like if you have a traumatic experience, especially at an early age, you dissociate, right? That's usually the case. 90, I'm sure it's a super high, ratio, or not ratio, but percentile. Anyway, so with that being said, the only way to achieve these higher states of consciousness, if you will, religious states, or however you want to put it. So, visitations with, aliens, or, it's basically postmodern shamanism. And if we go that route, we can look at it like, well, the only way to achieve these states is to have trauma, extreme trauma, or at an early age, right? When you're becoming you as a child, or when we get older, over time. And I'll cite Kubrick and Clockwork Orange, and basically over time, we're conditioned, desensitized. And if you notice how movies over the years, I mean, those of us that are over the age of 30, basically, I mean, I feel like it's about over the age of 30. Movies used to be, they couldn't show people like dying on screen. Like that was a big deal. Then like in the late 80s, early 90s, I remember like Last Boy Scout came out and there was a scene in there that was twisted, that it was a little bit controversial. Then it got more and more Bad Lieutenant. That's one of my favorite movies of all time, by the way. I had the NC-17 version on VHS somewhere around here. Oh my God. I remember seeing that. And that was like the monkey. It was like when they're eating. Oh geez, that's awful. And I remember seeing just one or two parts of that.
What movie was that?
Faces of Death. Remember those? They literally like
Cannibal Holocaust.
Look at who decided to show up. The chronology master himself, the historical
mentor here.
I'll destroy Greg Carlwood. Give me 10 minutes to write something out about you, brother. An intro out for you. But yeah, I feel like the splintering of the soul, if you will, if you want to call it what you will, the splintering is the key, and to open it up, and then
for disassociation.
Exactly. Dissociation, multiple person, MPD, whatever you want to, whatever DSM, you want to go with. Sure. So
you know where I'm going to go, Barcy, right?
Go. Do it. It's time. It's time. No. It's time. It's time for Gordon. If he's going to do it. Let's do it. That's
why I was chosen, because I can disassociate.
There you go. So do you want to elaborate, and do we want to do this?
It's a 3-hour story, man. I mean, so, okay. If anybody doesn't know yet, or hasn't watched Lindsay's show that I did, I told the whole story, but I have an implant, two, in my just above my pituitary, under my frontal lobe and the pituitary gland, and one right back on my neck. And I know now, after looking back and on how they tested me for my security clearance, that was one of the things that they could tell just from a psychological test, that I had childhood trauma and that I was able to disassociate. So doing that and covering it up and erasing those memories was pretty much a piece of cake for them. And if you watch Lindsay's show last night, she puts it all together with how they can basically erase our memories. And they're doing it now with all the brainwashing. over and over and over again. And the repetitive nature of all the repetitive propaganda bullshit. They're changing history. They're changing our own histories that we think about. That's why the Mandela effect actually exists. Because they can do that. I know that personally because I was missing years of my life that I had no idea until I did regression to get there, and the shadow work to get myself out of that, to realize what actually happened. And I'm not saying that it's not a superhero story at all, and it's not a victim story. It's a self-discovery story, and you got to figure out your own truth of what. And it goes back to flat Earth, of how we've been lied to, how you've been lied to, and how you've lied to yourself about other things. Because I denied all this shit for 15 years. I mean, I legally had to deny it for 7, but I was programmed to deny that the shit that happened to me happened. And it wasn't until I found the patents in the patent law that were submitted by my company that I worked for at the time when this stuff happened, that it all came rushing back. And it all made sense. All the weird shit that happened to me. The brainwashing is complete and pretty easy, quite honestly. And it's trauma, trauma, trauma. They keep traumatizing us, and traumatizing us. I mean, we say, a lot of us in our generation say we got woke up by 9/11. This has been going on forever, throughout all of human history. Trauma, it leads me to the idea that there's not a one cabal. There's not a Illuminati or whatever. It's just, it leads me more to the idea that there is a bigger evil. If you listen to Alex Sakaris, he's done that.
What is evil?
Those whole series.
Yeah.
On what is evil, right? And the evil is real, whether you're a Christian or not.
Yeah.
I mean, evil is a force. Whether that force is personified or not, it's real. Whether
subjectively speak, right? You know what I mean? Like, we just know it. It doesn't need to be. It's just we know it when we encounter it. That's it.
Could we invite Alex from Skeptico to?
Yeah, I was just gonna mention that. I just don't like to do. I've done it too much live on shows to where like, oh,
we have all these ideas, and Jason Horsley. I was thinking Jason would be great. It's all these people.
I'm behind with Jason. I'm an idiot. I'll email Jason again tonight.
I mean, all these people, they have put out so much great information.
Yeah.
So we're gonna mention them. They're doing great.
Yeah, exactly.
We're listening to them. We're fans.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I was thinking about reaching out to Alex, and I know I've got his contact info, so I'll do it. I'll reach out to him. We're just inundated with dates and me trying to figure out how the hell I'm going to be able to do all this with like booking all this stuff. So that's a good problem to have, especially with all my favorite researchers and authors. And so the best problem to have, actually. What am I complaining about? It's a bit overwhelming.
Yeah,
now.
that's a good problem.
Yeah. Thank you, Gordon. Seriously. And we'll unless you want to continue or go any further. I mean, I think that was very well said and heartfelt.
The mind control is real.
Absolutely.
To all of us. We've all eaten the brownies that have shit baked into it.
Precisely.
I don't care who you are, but the people who are eating a lot of brownies are eating a lot of shit. Because if you're consuming mainstream stuff,
processed,
you're eating boxed Kraft macaroni and cheese when you could be eating filet mignon?
There's talk, and like for the people that don't, I'm sure our audience knows, but like the minute amount of toxins that's dumped in because they can't dump it all in mass gets put into our food supply, for those that don't know. So, so trace amounts, just enough to where, it obviously slowly affects us, or it doesn't. Some of us have better immune systems, or we don't consume as much. And it seems like it's a game of Russian roulette. With everybody, because I know people that, smoked for a million years, drank. We all know these people. We all have them in our lives that eat like shit and they live till they're like freaking 95. And like, what is that all about?
Like epidemic of like Crohn's disease and irritable bowel syndrome and all kinds of stuff that I think the genetically modified corn is responsible for.
The autoimmune, all the autoimmune stuff. Yeah.
This is why we have to purify ourselves. We gotta stop eating shit, drink clean water. The wheat that is grown is basically poison, the way it's been GMO'd. So get off soy.
But enjoy your White Claws, everybody.
I'm talking to us guys.
Yeah.
Stay away from the fucking soy. Stay away from the sugar. And stay away from the wheat.
You know what we are? We're a Promise Keepers group.
I thought you're, dude.
Oh my God.
At least we ain't oath keepers.
We're gonna keep our promises to our wives, to our church, to our pastors.
We'll let you have this as long as they who shall not be named isn't named. So just keep it. You can keep
I joke about that, but that's a question. Are there still Promise Keepers groups meeting today? That was a huge
I talked to John Brisson. I talked to John Brisson about a couple weeks ago, and because we talk about this kind of thing, and also with Recluse, because we attack these sorts of things because
we opened the show talking about Aphenphosmphobia, which is the fear of men hugging other men or having an extreme irrational fear of intimacy.
I love it.
So you have the anti-Aphenphosmphobia.
That is a really tough one to pronounce, by the way.
The Promise Keepers who hang out together in giant stadiums, listening to special speakers, encouraging the men to hug each other, to cry together, to confess their sins together,
and then go log on to Pornhub
Jesus
together.
Christ together.
Circle jerk.
And they don't talk about the Mastodon word, the M word. They don't. Did they talk about it in your Promise Keepers group?
Jerking off?
I never would tell you.
Isn't that what that was? It was a giant
circle jerk. 1,000 man, 5,000 man circle jerk at Mile High Stadium.
Let's get you in here.
Yeah.
Let's get Steven in here.
I love you. I miss you, Steven. I missed you.
Circle jerks.
About that time I join in.
The band? We talk about Al. We talk about Keith Morris. Sorry.
Hey guys. Can I be Steven Sorensen's accountability partner? Can I?
No, not yet.
Steven,
not yet.
Steven, who's your accountability partner, and what color sweater is he wearing?
Not red. Sorry, Alan.
Okay,
no, I don't know.
Little Red Riding Hood.
That's like a Christian thing, right? I think.
The evangelical loons.
I used to hear about that when I was younger. Haven't been a part of anything like that for a while now.
But you were raised. We've talked about this, right? Like you were exposed, like I was to a degree.
Yeah.
So he knows what's up.
My family's religious.
Yeah,
I'm not.
I like your.
The accountability partner is the same thing in AA. What is it? The sponsor?
Your sponsor. Yeah.
It's your sponsor. It's the same thing. Yeah. And there again is another cult that I always end up on this because I went through the 12 steppers. But you've got Sacred Text, the Blue Book. Mm-hmm. You've got Prophets, Bill W.
Mm-hmm.
They pass around the plate, the collection plate, at every meeting. You have sponsors and mentors,
Mm-hmm.
all those things. I mean, it works for some people, or at least it's a stepping stone to something else.
Exactly.
So that's a wonderful thing. And that's the good thing about religions is
Right,
maybe,
the fellowship.
Hopefully it's the fellowship that gets you into thinking even bigger.
Right.
Because whatever they're telling you is just it's a fraction of what's there. It's nothing that's actually there, because everything we're being told, again,
construct. Yeah. Scaffolding at the very least.
Right.
At best. Yeah. I mean, well, and then, yeah, exactly. But just all constructs. It's
Steven Sorensen, what is your favorite Christian band? Make no apologies about it. Just the
Don't
first
say
thing
it.
that comes to mind.
Say DC.
Say it, I swear.
Say it.
Maybe August Burns Red.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
there you go.
That's
say,
solid, actually.
what about
Listened to
Under
them
Oath?
for like a decade. Yeah, Under Oath was all right.
Toured with Under
Their
Oath.
early stuff was nice.
Yeah.
I do listen to them occasionally. They had some good riffs. Their original
Yeah, they
album.
did. They had great riffs. They were pretty batshit heavy.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Under Oath was huge, and they headlined Warped Tour a couple
They
times.
headlined a million things, dude. And yeah, Seven Angels toured with them. And then Misery Signals is toured with them. Actually, Misery Signals, shout out Kyle. Shout out Ryan, Brandon.
You want to listen to The Chariot?
Yeah, I know those dudes too. I don't know if those cats are, but no, the tour has been canceled 3 times because of, you know what, with Misery Signal, Darkest Hour reunion tour, and Darkest Hour and Under Oath, I'm pretty sure are
Sure. What about
that's
He
the
Is
reunion
Legend?
tour plus Furnace Fest. Yeah, He Is Legend. Furnace Fest is actually still going down at Sloss Furnace in Birmingham this year. It got pushed back. It was like Bane, Boy Sets Fire, all those bands. So that'll be fun. I'm not going. But yeah, I don't know. Do we want to Steven, what have you been up to? How have you been, brother? It's been too long.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the last time I was on here.
I just updated the RSS feed. It was Odin's Dilemma, and then you did another episode with me, Recluse, Lindsay, Snake, Jim, and then we had. I think you ended up covering for me a couple times. After that with Jim. So it's been a while.
Catching the
I'm sorry,
the Lindsay one.
Gordon?
I'm sorry, Nachiketa says, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, but he says Sation Nasti Paro Dharma means there's no religion above truth.
That's
perfect. Thank you.
Profound it's profound
perfect.
AF.
Exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you.
Yeah, cheers. Not Chiquita, is that how we pronounce it? Just let us know if we're effing it up.
It's not Chiquita.
Okay.
Devotchka. Do you guys listen to Devotchka?
I know Devotchka. I know. Why do I know?
Nachiketa was interviewed on Lindsay on Road as well. So
thank you.
That's a really good interview too.
Awesome. I'll definitely check it out, dude. Thank you for hanging out. Seriously. Appreciate it. And sticking it out through the madness.
Through the filthy words you've had to hear.
Yeah. Yeah, like DC
talk. That's it. No more. I'm literally gonna ban it.
For Knights and Satan
Service. Yeah, I know. I have the backwards masking books in here. Literally, I'll dig them out for the next show just for fun.
I was steering it towards vigilant citizen level cult decoding symbols, and there was these videotapes that I'd get on VHS, and they'd go through and they'd say like, rap music, this is evil. But then they were a Christian organization. And when they released their expose on occultism and Christian music,
I think they
ripped into all these Christian artists. I'm like, hold on. Hold the phone. You guys think you got a direct line to God? Come on now. Amy Grant. Come on. She's not a Scarlet Woman. You can't say these things.
Bless
I
her
wonder
heart.
Oh
now.
man.
Well, I want. There's a new artist today, very popular. Is her name Lauren Daigle? Lauren, do you know what I'm talking about? Let me look for her.
BRB, gentlemen.
Lauren Daigle, American Christian contemporary music singer. Very, very popular. Born in 1991. She has a song called You Say. You've probably seen it or heard it, maybe. If we're talking about Christian sirens, man, she's a
So are you
singer.
talking about? Are you saying that Amy Grant was a Christian siren?
I'm not
She was
saying
sacrificed, man. She was sacrificed, dude. That her
Was she?
divorce, like the way they went after her when she got a divorce in the church, it was ugly, dude. It was
Yeah.
ugly. And like, and I know how that backlash is ugly, dude. Ugly. Which is why I'm not a Christian singer now. Because my girlfriend at the time, so I was 16, we were making albums, working for this Christian label and sending stuff off to Nashville for bigwigs to record and stuff. And
Yeah.
my girlfriend at the time told our pastor and the record label guys that we were having sex, guys. So
Was he
we had
watching
sex.
you to know this?
No. She sold me out. She told them all, and they all dropped me. I
Did
got
she
kicked
get
out
high
of the band.
fives? Did
Oh
she get
yeah,
high
she was
fives from
totally.
the crew?
Yeah. Oh, she was like, "Oh God, we're gonna save you from that evil bastard man." And yeah, I was villainized after that. She was the one who went after me. It was so fucked up.
Sirens in the church.
And then cheated on me, like fucked up.
Classic
It was
Garden of Eden
terrible.
scenario.
Oh yeah. Oh,
We're talking about
that's
singing
awesome,
sirens.
Stephen. I didn't
Yeah.
even think of that.
Yeah. The temptation of the woman to the man. Yeah. Yep. In private Christian universities, they have this saying. It's get your ring by spring semester. Right. So you have the women who go to the private Christian school for one semester. They find a man and they get him to give a ring, marriage proposal,
Oh,
after the first semester to get it before spring semester, because she doesn't want to pay for 4 years of college. She just wants to, try to get it done in maybe one semester to get a ring, to get married to a Christian guy.
Yep, that was a big thing. Like Baylor, I remember we called them the Baylor bitches because they had the big hair, and that was a big thing with those chicks.
Yeah. So I'm mentioning Lauren Daigle as the recent Christian siren singer, and she has this music video, and it's a song, but I'll tell you what, I don't think it would have as many millions of views as it did if the singer, can we say that she's wearing nothing underneath a shirt and it's tight and you can see an outline, you can see, right? So she's not wearing a bra in a music video as a Christian singer.
Oh yeah, they're sexualized. They're marketed sexually, for sure.
She won a
It's-
Grammy. She won a Grammy in 2019. Lauren Daigle. Incredible. Amy Grant would always wear a bra, so we wouldn't have to worry about watching her music videos. We wouldn't fall into temptation. Rebecca St. James always made sure that her collarbones were covered.
Oh, those dirty collarbones. That's the other C word. Collarbone. How dare we see those nasty shoulders?
Is that the Mars Hill you'll die on? No female worship leaders can expose collarbones on our stage as we present the worship music to this generation.
Right, as we sing the same song over and over and over and over. Our God is an awesome God.
Rich Mullins. Was he a wealthy man? Selling singles, cassettes?
Hell yeah, he is. All those dudes are swimming, man. Have you guys been to Nashville and see those guys? How they live? Like that whole Franklin scene is...
It's the wealth and prosperity gospel that brings them abundance.
What's his name? Creflo Dollar. Creflo Dollar gonna make you see how God wants you to be rich.
We go back, and did anyone see the Tammy Faye documentary called The Eyes of Tammy Faye, where she's crying? She has her mascara running, and they have a documentary called The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and they talk about the Christian facility that they're going to build, like a Christian amusement park. Did anyone catch that one? Tammy Baker, right? Baker?
Yeah, Tammy Faye Baker.
Tammy Faye Baker, yeah. And now she is loved. Sweetheart. Yeah, she's loved by a community now.
Yeah.
Jim.
Oh, I saw this.
Come on, Jim.
And it's like the smear of a face. And it says, I ran into Tammy Faye Baker. Pretty funny.
It's just got like the makeup smeared all over your shirt. Yeah, I remember that.
Hilarious.
I think I need that shirt. Let's to the Amazons.
To the Amazons.
Should we put a link to buy the Tammy Faye Baker shirt?
Oh, that's a good idea.
See if we could get a kickback on Amazon.
Definitely a good idea. We need to get some swag.
We should be getting paid by Sparrow this episode. We're plugging all of their artists.
For sure.
It's a crazy, crazy time to think back to music in the 90s, going to your local Christian bookstore to sample CDs and to decide what you're going to buy.
I'm going to round the show out with the story of where, I'll with the story about a Christian bookstore and the, just before we sign off here, it's quite the, man, it's so messed up. And it's so like, well, no wonder this happened. This awful thing happened.
Right. You have a Christian bookstore selling books from, I don't know, what are the brands?
It's way
Tyndale.
How about I just tell it really quick?
Are they the same people that published the Llewellyn Occult
No,
Guide?
This is next level. I can't
Beyond
even,
that.
It's so we stopped at a Christian bookstore. The drummer, my best friend and drummer at the time of the band Casted, whatever. And we wanted the new No Innocent Victim, right? And Strong Arm. And I was like, dude, we couldn't find them anywhere. So we went there and we had one of my best friends. What up, Erica? She took us in her new Ford Fest, like the tiny Fords. Remember the Festiva or whatever?
Festiva?
Yeah. Super tiny. And she takes Nate and I, or Nate and me, to Commitments, I think was the name of the Christian bookstore. Yeah, here in Racine. And she didn't know that Nate and I were planning on just pocketing these. There's no cameras in there, and it's like, we really wanted these records or the music. And
stop in, purchase a 10-cent Testa mint.
no, purchase zero, nothing.
And walk
Sorry. No, we just grabbed it and like hung out for a minute and looked around and then just walked off out. So get in the car. Erica had no idea that's what we were doing. And we're driving. I'm sure you guys can maybe see where this is going. And we're driving and listening to that No Innocent Victim record, right? It's in the tape deck. This is probably 97, 96, 97.
Was that in the heavenly metal section?
Goddamn right. If there was a, I mean, because it is heavenly metal.
Heavenly metal.
But anyway, we're driving and we're talking, just shooting the shit. We're rocking out, me and Nate, because she's like, "What are you fucking weirdo? Like, what are you listening to? Like some anti-abortion shit." Anyway, so we're driving, and then I remember she looked over at me and was like, "Barsky, can you like change the music?" And literally before I could be like, "Oh yeah," and reach down, smash, totaled her car. We freaking smashed her, like rear-ended at like 25 miles. Like she slammed on the brakes way too late, and we just went. My head hit the windshield. Nate's like, "What the?" And Nate and I looked at each other like, "Wait a minute." And she's like, "What?" Karma. She's like, "What? What?" And we're all just like bugging. I was like, "I'm not." And then Nate was like, "I'm not saying it." And I was like, "Dude," she goes, "Did you guys fucking steal those fucking?" And she goes, "You," and that was like her first car too. Come to think of it, that happened. And it was like, it easily could have been death. Like it was total. The car, we never saw that car again. It got totaled. Like it was a disaster. That happened. So yeah, don't do that, anybody. Yeah, that happened. That's fucked up, right?
Causation, correlation, karma. I don't know, man. That's heavy.
I haven't thought about that or told that story, and I don't know how long. So,
did you immediately feel like,
"Oh yeah,
this is"?
No, I knew. It was, and it wasn't my Christian like being forced and raised in that. You know what I mean? It was like, well, all right, yeah, there's something to this. But I mean, obviously, I got my confirmation of God existing and me being cool with that and calling it God and not feeling weird about it after my first psychedelic proper experience. So yeah,
the car was totaled, but you guys were okay, no whiplash or anything.
No, we should have been. I mean, it was absolutely destroyed. You know how small those stupid cars are. Like there's nothing there's not even airbag. I don't think there's even airbags in that fucking thing.
Thank God for crumple zones.
I don't even. Yeah. Yeah.
Or the engineers.
Or thank deity. Whichever you choose with those. But yeah.
I'm pretty sure God's a deity.
Say that again, Jim. I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure God's a deity.
Yeah, no, I just like to say thank deity instead of thank God just because I'm that dude. You know. I just have to be that asshole.
Do we support deicide?
Fuck yeah. Dude, that was one of the first, I bought that record or CD, the one with the lambs being slaughtered in the beginning, and Dead Kennedys, Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables, and I Hate God. What record? I can't remember what I Hate God. I think it was like Rehab or one of their early first full lengths. I bought those 3 CDs from like a disco around or, used CD spot. I'll distinctly remember that at age like maybe 13, 14. My mom was shopping over, I'm going to be at Pickens, like at the grocery store. So and she used to let me wander. All right, I'll be at the strip mall. I'll be in Funko Land, GameStop.
Funko Land.
Yeah. And, and then I remember being like, fuck Funko Land. I'm going into the fucking, disco round and trying to find Black Sabbath and whatever heaviest of heavy and punkest of punk shit I can find, you know? So, yeah, the church did that to me. I can honestly say, like, fuck all of this.
Yeah, it's like the church. The church was, I mean, that was why I gravitated to punk, because it wasn't control. It was self-control and encouraging of others.
Right.
Like,
It's not mindless self-indulgence.
well, yeah, exactly. It's not
Jimmy
it's not
urine.
poor as me. Oh, pray for my own martyrdom, and I can't get out of my own way, so I have to give it up to somebody
Give it up to God.
else.
Instead, you're right, Gordon.
Instead,
let's do it ourselves. Let's put our nose to the grindstone. DI fucking Y. Thank you. Yep. All day. And I can't, and I'm so grateful that I have both the Christian whatever, because I can you know, compare, I can juxtapose the two and be like, yeah, man, I can find goodness in both of these, but the DIY is like my heart, my soul, because that's like my family, you know what I mean? Whether like Gordon, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like there's just some bond that can't be touched. When it comes to that, it's like, okay, well, that's it. That's family. That's level. That's it. No, nothing else, nothing more. That same with artists though, too. I mean, I feel like, except for a certain super eccentric, you know, certain eccentricities with artists, it depends, you know, but I mean, I have that same thing, you know, with artists as well, being an artist, even though I'm not like a visual, whatever. I have done, you know, physical visual artwork and stuff, but I'm not that good at it. But, you know, writing music.
You're a creator.
Creator. Exactly. So it's like that, I feel like, but for some reason, I feel like the DIY, if that's combined with DIY.
So you customized your flat Stanley with like a denim jacket vest, battle vest with like patches. Like how would you design your flat Stanley?
Spikes.
That's a DIY activity, right? It's arts and crafts.
Spikes.
He would have hands in pockets.
corpse paint on your
hands off first.
Corpse paint on your Burzum inspired flat Stanley. Send it to Norway and get a picture of flat Stanley in front of a burning church. Yeah. Send that back. Show it to your 4th grade class.
Dude, that's brilliant. Okay, all right, that's meme magic. Nice. That's meme worthy, Jim. Nice. We need your wizardry to come up. We gotta make that happen. Actually, that could be the next Weaving Spiders, you know, artwork.
A flat Stanley,
corpse painted flat Stanley,
with his hands in his pockets
in Norway,
in front of a burning church.
Dude,
that's a cultural education.
Straight
you're gonna learn
up.
Morality. You're gonna learn ethics. You're gonna learn everything from that one experience.
Man,
I'd rather do that than take a walk with them all.
For real, because I ain't trying to get murdered, trafficked. Like that's good. That's the most roundabout ass walk any human's ever gonna have, dude. It's like, well, you had a path laid out, but yeah, sorry. There's about 15,000 detours that end up with you, and like, oh man, I don't want to even say.
Isn't that life though? That's life, man.
Yeah, it's life, but not for a 9-year-old Syrian girl who's probably being trafficked. You know what I mean? That's where, I don't mean to get dark, but dude, it's gross. And look at the route she's supposedly taking. It's like, really?
Well, that's what we said last time. Is that's what they're signaling.
Right. Exactly.
That's what they're offering, and we say
that is an offering because it ain't it ain't a sacrifice, because a sacrifice would have to be a willing participant. Well, technically she's willing, but she doesn't know what she's getting herself into. So
she's like a walking effigy. Are they going to burn her?
Oh, hell yeah. That's exactly what she is.
That's exactly what she
Great
is.
call. That's a great call.
She's going to Liverpool to die. Are they going to drown her in Liverpool?
Drown her in Milky Way.
Will she get a baptism of wisdom? in a Mithraeum in Londinium
I
before
can't
she
help
goes to Liverpool.
or baby Babylon, London, baby
Dra-
London.
Pool. In the
There's
pool.
that.
Liver.
Oh yeah. And but I can't help but think like organs when I think like Liverpool, like can't get liver out of my head, and I don't think like liver, that I'd put on some crackers, on some salt. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
liver's
think
good for you.
I know
Gotta
it
get
is.
going
It's
here.
very, very nutrient heavy.
Improved eating list.
All right, Steven. You gotta
Thanks for
go.
having me on.
Dude, I'm sorry. We just randomly just didn't. Well, we're just going. I'll text you.
Yeah. Till next time. Take care.
All right, brother. Good to see you.
Thanks for showing up, man.
Damn it.
Steven.
Oh, well. We'll have him back. I love Steven. We love you, Steven. We miss you. But yeah, like the liver organ thing. Like I can't help but to think of the organ, even though I know liver is extremely nutrient rich. We're running. What are we at, guys? Time wise, anybody in the chat? No.
Yeah, we can type some loose ends. There was
Yeah, let's do it
another
quickly.
connection on this liver thing.
I've got
a
a
filter.
I've got one other
Liver's
thing.
the one that cleans your blood. Liver's
I got
the
one
organ
thing
that-
really quick while he's looking at that. And I'm screen share because Megan was kind enough to share this after she had signed off, which is pretty rad.
yeah.
Check this out. So she dug this up from the lifting of the ban of Ulysses.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I love that she
Right.
dug that up and sent it to me
Cool.
just
Thank
a
you,
few
Megan.
seconds ago. Yeah, thank you, Megan. So that's rad. So there that is, which is for those listening and not seeing, the monumental decision of the United States District Court rendered December 6, 1933 by Honorable John M. Woolsey, lifting the ban on Ulysses. United States District Court, blah, blah. It's basically just what would you guys say? Just like a
3 hours.
court document. I know. We're going long. Yeah. Yeah. So that's rad. Thanks again, Megan. Seriously, you rule. Okay. So let's tie up whatever loose ends we need to tie up. I feel like we're not going to be able to do that anyway.
Liver. We were talking about bodily functions. There's a festival in Liverpool, and it's a biennial festival, and it's called the Stomach and the Port. They're exploring the notions of the body and ways of connecting with the world. The stomach and the port. So it's like input, stomach, port, export.
Going back to the purification thing, the liver is the purifier of your blood.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be a purification ritual.
Yeah, the link is biennial.com/2021. It's on my Twitter, Marcus86. I just
I'm
posted
terrible.
it.
I need
Yes,
with the descriptions and links. I'm bad. So
this is it's another public arts festival. It's in Liverpool, and it was scheduled to take place in 2020, but they postponed it. So they announced this in like November 2019.
So are we all going to go? We're going to take
if
a
they'll
road
allow
trip
us.
and go to Liverpool.
Maybe can we virtually visit to see this display?
I'd rather go to Skinwalker. Do it, Barsky. Figure it out.
I already have. I've got the green light. So
We all want to hear reports back.
well, believe me.
Yeah, this Liverpool Biennial Arts Festival seems to talk about the body politic, the function of the stomach, and connective tissues. And they're using this anatomy lesson to talk about health issues as well, which is like the natural world, body modifications, implants, transhumanism.
distraction bullshit, man. It's all.
But why is
distraction
this a
bullshit.
Liverpool theme for their arts festival where the giant is going?
You know what? I'm going to look into because I have some friends that are actually like more I don't want to say cutting edge, but dude, they're more like, dude, they're artists and I have weird, like that have weird, just, you know, like really weird displays with like weird tech. My Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design, MIAD, is like notorious for being one of the most like, it's like the evergreen college of art schools, basically. Like seriously, it's insane. Now that in hindsight, like all the parties and things I've seen, like it's like, wait a minute, you fucking, what the hell? You guys are into some crazy shit, which is fine. I mean, pushing boundaries is awesome, right? But at the same time, it's like, you guys really know what you're doing or did? You know what I'm saying? So I'll just leave it at that. But I do have plenty of contacts that are still like, and they're all in the neighborhood.
Sure.
Where I'm going to hang tomorrow.
Are they receiving public funds from public governments?
No, absolutely
to have public arts festivals?
Absolutely not. They've all look, thank God, and I'll shout out, not by name, these friends. If we had time and it was early, I would. But like, so many of my friends that are artists, musicians, whatever, have been super successful at becoming business owners and kicking ass and doing it. And then like, it's insane. It's insane.
That was my final question. I wrote it down.
What?
You were talking earlier, making the point that the Amish community, they don't have televisions and their health is great. And I was like, if we could get the Amish to sell their art on Etsy, could we help them improve their incomes?
Quality of life?
Amish listing
any form or fashion.
Etsy. Yep, that was my final question.
That's pretty brilliant, actually. I wonder, I don't know though. I mean, we'd have to find some that were more, wouldn't you say like Mennonite leaning, like at least like on the level of, because there's the main issue with, vanity. And I feel like they would somehow argue I feel like the vanity aspect would come up pretty quickly.
Authentic Amish candles, not for ritual use.
Dude, that's for the people buying them. Dude, come on, we're going to stipulate that. Unless do need to stipulate to these that they're this well versed in the occult and the esoteric to think that this could be used for some nefarious shit or some positive light work, right? Two sides to that coin.
Yeah. Amish candles.
Amish
Sell
candles.
Them on Etsy.
Jim, what do you think? What Amish product would you propose for our future Etsy Amish Etsy store?
Well, definitely the Amish fireplaces. The electronic Amish fireplace is fantastic.
The electronic.
I've got 2 of those.
They're so cool.
So they use electricity now? Like, is that a joke?
It's a flameless fire. It's like the gin.
I love it. Okay,
digital gin. You plug it in.
Gordon's clearly going with what I should have gone with because that's the only kind of butter I bought when I lived in Milwaukee.
I don't know.
The giant rolls of butter, they're the best rolls of butter, and they're like, are they $6 by you, Gordon? About $6?
9.
How much?
It's 9 here right now, but
was it 6 a year ago?
Yeah, I think
5 something.
It was $6. Yeah, when I first started buying it, and I'm gonna pay more because it's the best butter. But
yeah, that and Irish butter is the best. Yeah, and it was banned here in Wisconsin. Here, by the way, literally we could. Yeah, of all because they were getting pissed off. Like, yo, you need to buy our dairy because fuck California because they stole our shit because they did.
What you need to do is go to the paint department and buy one of these mixer blades and then get some whole milk and drill and mix up your own butter.
You talking about raw milk or whole milk?
Whole milk.
I only drink whole milk, so that's good. Okay.
Would work too, but I mean,
I don't like raw milk. But all right, so go grab some whole milk.
Wait, you don't like raw milk?
I've only had it
thick
once,
and gross?
and I was younger, dude. I'm from here. Yeah, I know where
Straight
I'm
from the
from. I know
cow.
where I'm at.
Man.
I've had it once,
Holy-
dude.
I know
Man.
somebody that was really sick when they were born and they were like gonna die. And the doctor said,
Yeah.
drink this raw milk.
Living
You know,
culture.
And it totally like healed them up. Like it's a miracle.
It is.
Miracle
You
cure.
know, I'm glad you brought that up, Jim, because who was it? Jessica Colorado was talking about the health thing, how doctors don't know anything about our gut. And we could do whole shows about what doctors don't know.
The Liverpool
It's just nothing.
Biennial
It's
Arts
just
Festival.
everything.
Oh my God.
They're going to tell you about the stomach and the port. They're going to tell you about your gut health, your connective tissue.
They don't know shit, man. The doctors don't know shit about anything. They wanted to do brain surgery on me because they couldn't figure out what it was.
Oh my God, dude.
They're going to trap in your skull, just drill a hole and release the
Trapping?
pressure.
Yeah, trepanning again. Dude,
Yeah,
that's diabolical.
right.
That's insane.
No, that was the choice I had that I was given when I started to lose weight.
How sick.
When I got off all the drugs and alcohol and stuff, like they're like, well, we're gonna do brain surgery on you, or you could die. I guess those are your choices.
Wow.
What? And
I'm so fucking happy that you took. Sorry.
I had 22 medications written out to me when I got out of rehab. Antipsychotics, all these.
Did you get Seroquel? Did they try giving you Seroquel?
Yeah.
How messed up is that shit? Like that wipes. I remember.
Dude,
I took that.
Is evil.
It wiped my brain so hard. I remember the night I was in like rehab and I took a piece of it, or I took one at night before they prescribed it to me. And it was like, okay, whatever. Like I need to kind of numb myself. Like, I don't know whatever, but as long as it's not an antidepressant, like an SSRI or something crazy like that, I was like, okay, fine. Like, what am I to say right now? You're just going to write me some negative thing if I don't take it. So I'm just going to just cooperate for the first night, fucking rehab. And I remember taking it and waking up the next day and we had to write out, the next morning, whatever, as a group, our state of mind, how, that kind of thing, like what we're feeling at the moment, like whatever, it's like 10 questions. And I remember just like blanking on almost all of them and going, just writing some angry statement. And then when it was my turn to say something about what, cause like we can talk about what you wrote down if you want to, for the day. And I said, okay, I'm going to say right now that I couldn't even read the book that I brought last night. I just kept reading the same page over and over and I couldn't process any information. I said, I feel like I'm a fucking zombie right now. And whatever the hell drugs that stupid fucking doctor gave me, I will not take them again because, I was like, and I know it's that Seroquel and all, like there's some black folk in there and they were like, oh, hell yeah. He's like, you know what I mean? They were like all totally on my side, like, fuck that shit. And I was like, I'm trying to feel and I'm trying to work through these feelings, not numb myself. That's actually why I came here because I'm done numbing myself. Like, and I just went on some like tangent, just being a total animated asshole, basically, just like whatever. But I had to get it out of my system, but it was literally like, I was like, I feel like someone wiped my brain. I remember saying that.
Yeah. I remember a specific moment when I got back and I was driving, I was still kind of in that fog of getting out of everything. Like I was still kind of jonesing a little bit because I'd been on the meds for so long that I still had some of the RLSs and stuff like that, a little bit of jonesing.
Right.
I'm back in Tucson and I'm driving around and I just start bawling, just start crying because all the feelings just start coming back. I was like, holy shit, this is what emotion feels like again. And it was just like a tidal wave.
Was there a Mercy Me song playing? Was it I Can Only Imagine?
Oh, man.
Dude, he's pulling Bocephus jokes like way too early in the game too. Like 2 episodes in and he's going hard Greg jokes. I got to give it to you, Alan. You got balls. I like it.
It's Mercy Me. I can only imagine. It's a classic. They can make an entire movie out of one hit song.
Hey, our God is an awesome God. All right, so chill out. Yeah, now you're apt for the rest of the night, dude.
I love that song.
Don't do
Rich,
it.
Rich Mullen and the
We should wrap this up.
Yeah, we got to wrap this up. This is nuts. We're way too late. This is crazy.
Wrap this rag up and toss it in the trash.
Here, yeah. Put the goats out.
Let's flush this one.
This one is a stinker.
Oh. Let's clean this bathroom up and call it. All right. I love vagina so much.
And smoking in the boys' room.
I love burying my face.
Guys, thank you so much. The people that were in the chats, Michiketa, Jenny, Megan, Jessica. Did I say that? Anyway, all you guys. Ben, thank you.
Emily.
Guys for yes, Emily.
Chiquita. I said that super fast. Sorry. Yep. I don't know who's still here, and I can find out though.
Thank you guys.
Well, we know people will watch later on.
Yeah, we love.
I don't know about that. No, I'm just kidding.
There's dedicated folks, and they'll watch all the way to the end.
That's not true. I've looked at the analytics. It's not true. Not at all.
Are you fact checking me?
No, I'm fact checking.
Okay,
the whole show. I have to keep all of this as grounded as possible because we're already way the hell out in I don't know where, but it's awesome. I love being out here. But
that's fun.
Yeah,
fun, guys.
It was a blast. Everybody, we love you in the chat, and you know where we live.
We live
Are
in
we
your
on
mind.
Twitter? We live on Twitter?
No.
Live in your mind.
We live inside your minds.
We live inside your mind.
Hold on.
Week.